All right. Hope your connection holds up. All right.
It should.
And it's about a 30-second delay.
All right, on YouTube now.
Okay. All right. All right. We're up and running. MGTOW Universe is first. Simply Deep.
Nice. Well, I'm
Okay.
glad we got people showing up.
Oh, yeah. As soon as we're live. Bitter Truth. Oh, I said I'm here finally. Okay. All right, folks. This is going to be mano a mano. So I don't know how long he has. If I got time after we finish talking, then I'll open it up. But it's not going to be the normal all day hangout. Okay. And so
Yeah,
we got a
unfortunately,
Calypso.
I have about an hour, maybe hour 10, hour 15 minutes.
All right.
You know,
Well.
once I get home, I gotta get mini me ready for dance class and all that fun stuff. So
Hey, well, this is your time, man. This
yeah,
is normally my off day. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you. So,
and I appreciate that. So as we discussed in our little private conversation yesterday,
uh-huh.
there was no, I wasn't available to come up to represent the quote unquote classic men.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to catch the hangout. I tried to hold out as long as I could. I fell asleep before it came on the air.
Okay.
But I've been listening to the replay. I think I'm almost at maybe the last 45 minutes of it, before it ended. And
Oh yeah. Well,
it wasn't,
yeah. The
yeah,
last half was
yeah. By
probably
then, people were cutting up. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. It just made having fun, like the last half. But
yeah. But I mean, I un-
did you listen
I
to
understand the concept.
did you listen to the women's hangout?
Yes, I did. I I thought it was interesting how they the comment that was read that kind of sparked the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, you wanted people's reaction, but it was kind of interesting how it, a lot of insults were thrown towards the person who made the comment rather than trying to see, okay, what exactly did they mean?
Well, when you put something out in public, you're gonna,
Yeah,
you're putting yourself up for self castigation. So. Well, he didn't stay in long enough to actually come in on Saturday and actually explain his posts, but there was just a starting point. So regardless of they didn't actually put his name out there.
yeah, that's true.
So
What his name was mentioned in the Saturday hangout, but
because he came into the comment section and
okay,
cut up. So
but I I guess I would represent the quote unquote, educated lame, so to speak,
hmm
based on all the definitions given,
okay,
my
okay.
personality type.
We'll give your definition of what an educated lame is, because before we
Well,
even get started, because they have a whole lot of people think they're educated lames.
I don't like the term educated lame, but my understanding my understanding of the term means somebody who does have a formal education,
Mm-hmm.
beyond high school. So probably a college degree, probably even a graduate or a doctoral degree.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as being called lame is because their personality, they don't have the charisma,
Mm-hmm.
that the charisma of the quote unquote alpha male, the pretty boy, the select men, as Rom Wills would say.
So so
So
there's
the
so
edu-
so there's such a thing as just because you're educated or have degrees doesn't mean that you're lame, right?
no,
Okay.
no. Um, you can be educated and still have the social skills. They're not mutually exclusive propositions.
Okay.
But in the discussion out there, it's always portrayed as if they're mutually exclusive, which they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I think the whole reason why the quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray debates went on, because I
Mm-hmm.
remember one time Valdez had said that it's insulting how people use the term derogatory. They use it in a derogatory way, and it's true. There are plenty of guys who people consider Pookies or Ray Ray who are very intelligent
Yeah.
and under. let's say under different circumstances, if they had the opportunity and the finances to go to college, for example, they would have excelled probably even more than the so-called educated lames. Which is why I always say, if Pookie and Ray were into engineering, we never would have had the whole diesel scandal with Volkswagen, because they would have figured Pookie and Ray would probably have figured out how to build an engine with lower emissions, 50 miles per gallon, and all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
and normally Pookie and Ray Ray aren't the engineers, but they are the people on the production line.
Okay,
I'm
but
still, yeah, you have to be there. You have to be a blue collar guy to understand
yeah.
that, because Pookie and Ray Ray, when they square up, where do you think they go? They don't stay in the hood and be broke forever.
And you know what? And here's the thing. This is one reason why I do realize I am kind of out of place in that discussion. I'm more of the foreign observer
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not from this country. I did not grow up in this culture.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of the stuff that I either don't get or I have to basically play catch up as
Mm-hmm.
far as understanding. So, when people talked about the Pookie and Ray Ray and stuff, the
Mm-hmm.
image that would come to mind for me is the stereotypical stuff on TV because I did not
Okay.
grow up
Okay. What?
in the community.
Okay. What's your definition? Because women said Pookie and Ray Ray are two different types. So, what's your definition of Pookie? Who is Pookie to you?
Oh, I personally didn't realize that they were different. I thought Pookie, Ray Ray, Dayquil, and Shantavius all went together.
They
I mean,
are.
you're the one who explained that Dayquil and
Yeah.
Shantavius are the invisible ones. I didn't even realize that.
Well, yeah, they and Shantae are the invisible ones that don't have the swag or don't have the money to catch the girls, and basically they're living with mom or living with sister or living with family, and they're okay. I'll give you an example of a Day Day, okay, or a shot or that type, right?
Yeah.
Day Day
Yeah.
is he basically barely graduated high school or didn't graduate high school. He can't really catch women because he's not ultra masculine or ultra attractive. Okay, he really can't find a job, so basically he's getting general relief. He gives his uh he gives his mother half the general relief to basically keep the lights on and keep the household going, and the other half of his general relief he might get him something to eat. He might get high. He might save up for some tennis shoes, something like that. That's Day Day.
Okay. See, I wish somebody would have gotten more into the finer details of this.
That's why
But
we
again,
have
like I said,
that's like when we're
yeah.
having a discussion.
But as far as the educated lanes, I mean, the closest thing I could tell, as far if I were to classify myself based on American society
Okay.
in my time living here,
Hmm.
I guess you could say I'm a hybrid of Steve Urkel and Theo Huxtable.
Okay.
I cannot count myself as a Carlton Banks because I don't have that kind of those. When my family's not that rich.
Okay.
Okay, but Theo Huxtable, yes, actually, I my family structure is basically a Theo Huxtable. My parents were medical doctors.
Hmm.
We well, I didn't grow up in the United States, but the upper middle class life
Yeah.
style. I grew up abroad. You know, a different perspective. So the it's not until I came to the states, like hearing the concept of people talking like the hood and all that, it was totally foreign to me until I came to the states in 2000. So I mean, you would think after 18 years, I wouldn't probably know more, but I've actually never lived in that environment, so my
So so
exposure to it is limited.
okay. So do you think this so-called educated lame or classic man thing is because uh comes from more of the black kids that actually grew up in the suburbs and didn't really come in contact with the hood, so they don't really know what the hood is like. They just had this kind of like television version of what Pookie and Ray Ray is.
I would hypothesize that's it. I could be wrong, but I mean, the way I see it is, the guy, the educated lame,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have what I hear Black Americans call swag.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in a different environment. You probably been around either a multicultural or predominantly white environment,
Mm-hmm.
and you may not fit in. Yes, you're black. You still get pulled over by the cops. People still have that fear, thinking you're gonna rob them, whatever stereotype they have of black people.
Mm-hmm.
But you may not have the same experience. And I've come to realize that in this country, social class seems to be a taboo. Like it's talked about in, I guess, like in Haiti. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
have the social class issue when I lived in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks like in the United States, it's something that's, it's there, but people don't really want to address it. At least that's what it looks like from my perspective.
Yeah, I think that it's very social class and for black people in America is really really difficult because it's because in this country it's basically race over class as far as black people are concerned, especially black men, which is something that the New York Times article and the Brookings article actually said that no matter what, race trumps class in this country as far as black men are concerned. I'm sure you've had that experience too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I realize that, and that's why, even though before coming to the states, I've heard a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Black Americans say that foreigners have this, and I understand why, because a lot of times they're told that some people may be told, oh, don't deal with Black Americans, don't trust them. Other people that say, hey, Black Americans don't like us. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it. I remember when I came to college, I made the conscious effort to get to know, like, the American Black students, not just hang out with the Caribbean and African. I got involved. They had the Black Action Society, that student organization. I befriended, the Black Americans. It took getting to know Black Americans as well as learning more about the history of the country. That's why I don't go by the rhetoric, when people say, oh, well, American blacks are living in this country. Why aren't they taking advantage of what they have? Well, once you understand the history, I understand why, I understand how Black Americans may have a harder time, getting access to, like, business loans, to start a business. They may have a hard time if they even if they have the resources, if they want to move to a better neighborhood, getting denied buying a house or an apartment just
Mm-hmm.
because they're Black. I mean, it took a while for me to get that. So I understand it. And I also do understand why, if somebody, let's say they grew up in quote unquote the hood,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't leave, they could not, but they made the best of the situation. I understand that, and I'm not gonna shit on someone because of their circumstances. You know,
Okay. So, all right. So now we had a definition. So what is the because I'm still getting a lot of it. What is the angst that the classic men or the educated layman, even the working class guys, it seems have against what they perceive to be Pookie and Ray Ray?
um, from the way I see it,
From your
I hear a
personal,
lot of people.
no, from your
I hear
personal experience, from your
from my
personal.
personal experience.
Uh-huh.
I personally don't have anything against P or Ray Ray, especially understanding that circumstances. I realize that I came from what in America we consider very privileged circumstances, and I'm very grateful. I realize that, let's say somebody who grew up in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
to work their way, they managed to go to school, for example, but you got to deal with debt. You may have had to deal with the fact that going to school, it may
Mm-hmm.
have not been the best as far as the academic education. You were probably you probably had to face, some of the social struggles with fighting and people where you couldn't even focus on your books. I've come to understand that, and I respect when somebody managed to make it out of that, or even if they stayed in that environment, but they still managed to make a living. They're not, they managed not to get into crime or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
respect that. And as far as the woman piece, that people always say that the educated lames, they're bitter that Pookie and Riri got the choice women.
Okay. Is that
I
true?
mean,
Is that true?
well, I don't know. Because I did not grow up here.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about
I don't have the experience. I can't
but,
say that. Oh, in high school, Pookie and Riri got the girls, and
yeah, but what about in college and when you actually because it actually they said some guys said it extends past high school. It's like going into
Well,
college and even in being an adult. Did you get that?
I went to college in a rural area in the boondocks,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't say that the black girls are leaving to go with the street dudes and stuff because I wouldn't know if they did. I mean, I pretty much stayed on campus all year round. I didn't have a car, you
Mm-hmm.
know. What I the thing I can say from my experience was American black women,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of class or whatever, they
Mm-hmm.
were not interested in foreign black guys.
Okay.
So they were not interested in the Caribbean or African guys. That's what I knew. And I
Okay.
respected that. The one thing that perplexed me was when you had all those guys from Africa, the Caribbean, when
Mm-hmm.
they realized sisters weren't checking for them, they went with white women not because that was their preference. It was like, by default.
That's their option.
I didn't understand the angst. I didn't understand like why the hostility, because my thing
You,
was if they're not interested, that's fine, but don't get mad if we go where we're accepted.
yeah, well, that's a deep dive into the women's psyche, which the women are still mad
Yeah.
and actually
I,
dove into.
so that's one thing
That-
I didn't understand at the time.
at the time, yeah, yeah.
I mean now I guess well, one, you clarified it once where you said that they see it as that kind of guy being a flight risk.
A
Okay.
flight, a
And
flight risk, and basically, what is it? It's actually a verdict on who they are because if if they think black men are beneath them, and then the men that are beneath them don't want them, what does it say about where their position in the hierarchy?
well,
That's what
hello
that's
cognitive dissonance.
well, it's cognitive. No, no, actually, it's a deep psychological hurt because it actually shatters their vision of reality. But that's another subject.
Yeah,
It's a whole nother
but
subject.
as far as the educated lame, so to speak, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
one concept I did get from Black American society is stay in your lane,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned early on I got to stay in my lane.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm perceived as the Urkel type,
Yeah.
it's not a privilege. Like you said, be the best Urkel you can be. Um, it's not until I came across material like from Alan Roger Curry, Ron
Ah.
Wales, and stuff. That's when I really came to the understanding, the whole dual mating strategy and all that.
Yeah.
Before, I was perplexed, because as soon as I came to America, one of the things I started hearing a lot as I hung out with my Black American friends, I always heard about there's not enough black men who are educated. There are not enough black
There
men
is.
who are working professional. There's not enough
Mm-hmm.
black men who are, you know, faithful, monogamous, who
Yeah.
who are willing to be like involved fathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard all of that.
Yeah.
I did not have a frame of reference to see is it true or not. But
Oh. Oh.
okay,
It's. Oh. It's
yeah, I
true.
took him at their word.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. It's very true.
Okay,
If you go by the numbers, it's true. Yeah.
so it perplexed me that why is it that if they say this is what they want, they bemoan the lack of it. Why
Mm-hmm.
is it that the men who have that, that they they're repulsed by them? But it's not till much later I came to understand that what they really meant to say is they're not enough of the kind of men that they find sexually attractive who are
Yeah.
educated. They're not
Right.
enough of the men they find sexually attractive who are monogamy oriented, who are family oriented.
Hold,
And
hold,
again,
hold on, Don. Hold on, Don Calypso.
sure.
Hold on for a second. All right, chat room. Chat room. Okay, this is a special one-on-one. There's no fighting in the chat room. If you're gonna fight in the chat room, I'm gonna allow the I'm gonna allow the mods to boot you, and you have to email me to dig you out later. So no fighting in the chat room. Okay, capiche? Go ahead.
Please, please don't tell me they're fighting.
Oh yeah, they always fight, man.
Uh,
Especially
I'm,
when it's this kind of subject, they come in and they start fighting. So
all right, I'm not. Since I'm driving, I can't look in the chat room, but I
no, no,
do see that we have.
don't worry
No,
about
I'm
it.
not gonna check.
Don't
But
worry
I
about it.
see 157 watching and only 56 likes. Now
Okay,
that I have a problem with. So
okay. So
get the
yeah,
likes up, people.
we
Show BGS some respect and get the likes up, people.
oh,
Please. That's all I'm asking.
we can talk about since he's a biologist and I used to be a chemistry student. We actually talk about the future of biogenetics and drugs and Do you think there's about telomeres? Can they correct telomeres to actually slow down or reverse aging? In your opinion?
Uh, I know there's the I know the enzyme telomerase does extend telomeres so that cells can keep reproducing.
Hmm.
I don't think that's the issue. The issue is can we prevent the accumulation of mutations that so that you can't correct any errors during DNA replication? That's the real question. That I don't know. Because what's the point of increasing telomeres so cells can keep reproducing if they're going to accumulate mutations, and then the control mechanism goes crazy?
And so, in other
Because
words, you
that's how
start.
cancer happens in the first place.
So, in other words, basically, if you're going to defeat the control mechanism that prevents the errors or the error correcting mechanism, then you're going to have another problem. So you have to correct for two problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we can correct for the issue of the telomere shortening, which is to extend the lifespan of the cell as far as how many times they can reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so one of the things, again, I'm actually not an oncologist, but
Mm-hmm. No.
going back to what other happens is that I think it's called P53. It's
Uh,
one of those enzymes that's very critical for repairing errors. When P53 goes bad, then you're
mm,
fucked. Because then
yeah.
the cells start
So,
reproducing willy nilly.
yeah. Okay, folks. If you want us to go back to the original, talking about classic men and educated lambs, get the likes up. Otherwise, we're going to keep talking about biology. And I'm sure there's only about maybe 20 people that are actually interested in what we're talking about.
Hot damn. I guess that hurts some more than Lawrence Welk, right?
No, Lawrence Welk is actually much more. At least they're learning something. If we're talking about telomeres and life extension, and that kind of. Do you think that stem cells is the answer? Say if you do increase increase the lifespan and actually use stem cells to actually come in and correct.
Stem, stem cells might work as long as the stem cells are not mutated. And when you say stem cells, by the way, we're talking adult stem cells.
Uh-huh.
The technology is at the point we don't need to try to harvest embryonic stem cells from
Yeah.
aborted fetuses. You can actually, one very good source of stem cells, believe it or not, is liposuction. When people go to get all that fat taken out,
Yeah.
you have adipose stem cells that you can chemically treat to direct them into any kind of cell type you want. So we don't have to go the route of killing babies anymore. You can just suck out the fat, harvest the stem cells. We have to figure out what are the signaling mechanism to cause a cell to differentiate into whatever cell type you want. But that
Uh-huh.
technology is developing. So yeah, stem cell is a way to go.
Yeah, that's I think that's a twofold twofold prong thing that they're talking about. Actually correcting, extending the telomeres, and then using the stem cells to correct for mutations.
Yeah, or another thing is using viral vectors to insert a good copy of the gene. Like if you have a defective copy of a gene, if you can use a viral vector, insert it into the patient's DNA so it starts expressing the proper copy. But that has its own risk too.
I said, where we at likes? We need at least 10 more likes, folks. Get to 100, and we'll go back to our regular scheduled programming. But
People, black YouTubers gonna hate me, man, because I'm gonna bore them to death with all that biology talk.
they don't want to hit like. They're here watching. They don't want to hit the like button, so we can go back to talking about what they want to talk about. So if they're interested, evidently we're not talking about. If they don't want to hit the like button, they're not talking about what we want them to talk about. So basically, we're gonna talk about what we want to talk about because this is what we normally talk about.
I'll tell you one thing though.
Yes, sir.
BJS.
Yes, sir.
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
I could be wrong, but my hypothesis is if in Black America, if it would seem cool to get into the sciences,
Mm-hmm.
especially like the biological sciences, because I know it seems like there are a lot of black men who are into engineering.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was cool to get into the sciences, Pookie and Ray Ray would probably be the ones to make some of the next greatest big discoveries, because there's still a lot of good stuff to be discovered out there. And my bro Solon Black, he said once that when black guys apply themselves in something, they don't compete with others, they dominate. And I'm sure if Pookie and Ray Ray decided, you know what, I want to try this science stuff, and they like it,
Mm-hmm.
they would put Steve Urkel to shame. But
Yeah,
that's just my hypothesis. I can't test it out.
we basically, basically, I was talking to, who was I talking to about? Oh, it was on another podcast, and this dude was arguing with me about why most black kids bomb out of the sciences, engineering, STEM, what have you. And I would say it's math.
Well,
99,
yeah.
90% of people that bomb out is because of math. They can't handle the math, even including the women. They bomb out because they don't have
Well,
adequate math.
in the biological side of things, the math is you just have. It's not just the math thing. Yeah, the math is one aspect, especially
Hmm.
if you're not versed in calculus. If you're still good with the algebra part, you can
Yeah.
still make it. The thing is, you have okay. Let me tie it back to what Valdez was talking about as
Okay.
far as with the black community where he needs to sacrifice. Where he said a generation's gonna have to make a sacrifice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to go into STEM,
Uh-huh.
you have to some degree, you have to sacrifice the social aspect of the college experience.
Yeah.
It
Oh
means
yeah. Oh
you're
yeah.
gonna spend a lot of time in the lab. You're
In the
gonna spend a
lab.
lot of time in the library. You're gonna spend more time in study groups with your
Hmm.
lab partners than you're gonna spend enjoying yourself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what my first advisor before he died.
Hmm.
God bless his soul. He was a great guy, Dr. Pugliese. The first lecture was not on the subject. The first lecture, he basically broke down this is what it takes if you want to make it in biology. Here
Hmm.
are all those sacrifices you got to make. If you're not willing to do it,
Yeah.
it's okay. See me, you can withdraw. It's not going to affect and pick up another class.
Yeah.
But he said it. This is what you got to do. And then one day we were in lab. He's like, hey, he's like, you got about 119 of you guys total in this group. He
Yeah.
said, don't be shocked if only 19 of you guys make it as bio majors.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if he wasn't right.
Yeah, because yeah, especially when a lab, because that's what I was, that's like why I didn't complete my chemistry major because you have to spend 10 to 15 hours a week in the lab, just
Oh,
in the lab. That, that's on
oh,
top of
I
studying.
did my
On top,
chemistry. You
go ahead.
did chem. So you talk about like Gen Chem and OChem, right?
Yeah.
I took those in the summertime. I had 3 times a week. I had something like 4 hours of lab, 4.5 hours of lab, three days a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I had like 2 hour lecture. I took
Mm-hmm.
him in the summer. That was the only way I could do it. It's rough.
It's rough.
It
Yeah.
was not easy. I mean, biochem was a little better because it was closer to my field and I liked it. But
Mm.
yeah, you have to sacrifice. And
That's
I
sacrifice.
think what happens is a lot of people, they don't, I could be wrong. Again, I'm just hypothesizing. I'm not passing judgment. I'm hypothesizing. A lot of the black students, they may not want to do that because they want to be able to have fun with their friends. They want to be able to go to the parties, the other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anti-gravity problem sets aren't the problem about with chemistry, as far as I'm concerned, man. It's the unknowns that you have to find in those tubes and get them right, and that takes time. I mean, there's titrating to find an unknown, man. Is the talk about washing paint dry. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
You're doing lab tests. You know what I'm talking about.
I know. I mean, again, it's a sacrifice. Some people are not willing to do it. And going back to the whole educated lane versus Pookie and Ray Ray conversation,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to tie it in. I can remember this in college, and and this is something I thought with non-blacks. If I told them I was in the sciences, oh, cool, it's hard, but it's cool. If if you told a black girl that you were in the sciences, they would give you what I call the dull glaze of the dairy cow. It was like instantly turn off.
Okay.
So I could be wrong, but I could understand why it didn't appeal to many people. That, to my knowledge, there were two American black girls I knew
Uh.
who were in the biochem, who made that major and who finished.
Mm.
The guys were all either African or Caribbean.
Yeah. They
I
had
don't
more
think they were.
they have more patience than the normal
Yeah,
Black Americans. Black Americans is almost like instant gratification.
yeah. So and going to at the okay, at the graduate level, I had a few classmates who were Black American, but they were actually working in industry,
Mm.
and their pharmaceutical companies sent them to Villanova and paid for them to get their master's degree.
Okay.
So
Oh,
the
okay.
few Black Americans I had as classmates in grad school were already in pharma, and they were they were getting their master's degree paid for by their job. But even then, I think they were all women. The only black, the one other black guy in my program, he was
Mm.
from Ivory Coast, and then there was a black guy in chemistry, a grad student. He was Haitian. No, black Americans. I knew a couple in undergrad, but again, they were female.
Yeah, you normally, normally females in STEM students can't hack the all the math that the engineering program does, so they actually have to bounce down. So, and plus they get more grants and other kind of stuff to actually let them kind of go through the program.
Yeah,
That's where all the nerdy girls go.
but but that's my experience as a quote unquote educated lame.
Mm.
So to recap,
Uh,
I can't say that, oh, I'm bitter because Pookie and Remy took the girls I wanted and stuff, because when I was in high school, I was not in the United States.
okay.
Had I been, had I gone to high school in the U.S., yes, I likely would have been the one who got picked on, who would have been overlooked, probably.
Mm.
But I can't say for sure. I did not grow up here.
So
And
how
yes, I sucked at sports. So,
so did it change
yeah.
did it change in your adult life?
In my adult life, okay, are you talking about once I finished
Once you finish school, once you finish
once once I finished, well, okay, by the time I finished school, I
uh
had actually met a lady I was dating, I was seriously involved with. We
okay.
actually ended up living together. That
Hmm.
was the very first American black woman I was with.
Okay.
And the thing is, I met her because a friend of mine who was a black American female who had gone to undergrad with me was a counselor at the same school that she taught science
Hmm.
and introduced us. And my ex, she had her master's in chemistry education. She was
Uh-huh.
a teacher, but she all her graduate classes were with the chemistry people.
Okay.
But it was a special program. So that's how I got with her. And actually, there was an age difference. So she, I think she was 36. It took a
You
while to figure out the age
okay,
difference.
okay, wait a minute. You were how old again? Because you were kind of worked out.
I was 23
Okay.
when I met her. She
Hmm.
was 36. She looked like she was 26. I
So
had no idea.
so how come you vibe with somebody that like is 13 years older? Because this seems to be a theme in your life. That somebody that you vibe with older women. How come you vibe with older women and not women in your age range?
I don't know. I mean, for one thing, she did not look at me funny. When my friend introduced us, we're like, oh yeah, we went to school together and stuff. She was like, I was like, yeah, I'm in Villanova, I'm studying biology. She was like, oh, cool, you know, and come to find out, she wasn't a bit of a nerd herself. She was into Star Wars. That's
Okay.
something we had conversation about.
Okay.
But that was as far as with American black women. Yeah, it was always the ones who were older that I. Now in undergrad, as far as my peer group,
Uh-huh.
the non-black women seemed to be fine with me. It was the American black ones, but again, they had no interest in foreign black guys, and that's fine.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not bitter about it. I never begrudged them that. I was just I to this day I still, even though I understand why, but I still don't get an issue with us getting with white women where when white women were plan Z, plans A through Y failed, so plan Z was white women, and they
Yeah.
still had an issue.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That we do. Like I said, we've gone through that, multiple
Yeah.
times about why that is, and that's deep in the psyche of white women. In fact, I think Radical Home Goddess, she actually, I actually was looking at her video when she talked about Kristen Carrison's video actually being her channel actually being gone. And she actually mentioned some of the stuff that I was talking about why black women are hitting their psyche do that, which is seems like an oxymoron until you break it down. But but it seems. Did you
Yeah.
notice, like when you were in college or in undergrad, not in undergrad, but in post grad? Did you notice that some of the black American male STEM students did they get treated the same way from American black women
Uh,
as you did.
I didn't see any black Americans. All the black males in the different STEM fields that I saw, they were all foreign. Wait,
Oh,
correction. There were very few in my initial class. They
okay.
didn't last the whole semester. They quit and went to different majors.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
So
And
they didn't stick around in bio. A lot of them went into business
yeah,
or
they couldn't hack they couldn't hack the lab and they couldn't hack the math.
now I don't know about I can't say they couldn't hack the math because I wasn't in computer science, but there were quite a few black Americans in computer science and they did fine.
Hmm. Yeah, but the thing is,
In the IT computer they did fine, but they didn't go like into physics or chemistry or bio.
okay. Well, yeah, well, that does take more math. Physics, chemistry, and bio does take a little bit more math. I don't think you have to quite have calculus for IT.
Uh, I think actually for those who did all the programming, I think they had to actually, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
they did. They did have to do the calc and stuff. But yeah, so that was my experience. Now, once I got out of grad school, professionally,
Hmm.
I mean, even after I broke up with the ex girlfriend. I mean, we thought we were going to get married. That didn't happen. But
Hmm.
in the professional level, I came across a few in academia, a few Black Americans, very few,
Hmm.
who were also working in the field.
Hmm.
But I saw more Black American males go into medicine than actual research. And
Okay. Yeah. Where the money is. Yeah.
yeah, but no, I didn't. There were very few Black guys. If there were any other Black men, they tended to be African or Caribbean again. And even when I made the switch to academia, same thing. The other Black guys I saw,
Hmm.
there may have been one or two Black American, but primarily they were African or from the islands like me.
Oh, once you got out into the field.
Yep.
Okay. Now, in your now you can't stay in the lab all day. In your social groups, what did you see as far as being
Oh,
what kind of an educated lame? Yeah, what kind of social group
I
were you in?
well, I gotta give this disclaimer.
Okay.
I was a true educated lame in the sense that once I left undergrad,
Uh-huh.
I didn't really have much of a social life. Like
Okay.
um, now, after my ex girlfriend and we broke up,
Hmm.
I did force myself out of my comfort zone for a bit until up until the point where I met my wife, where
Hmm.
I would go out salsa dancing on the Philly salsa meetup.
Okay.
I did interact. I did interact with some Black American ladies, you
Hmm.
know, uh, on the dance floor. That was my game. I let my salsa dancing do my talking, and
Okay.
a lot of the men that I did see,
Hmm.
I saw a lot of older Black men, probably your generation.
Uh-huh.
Those guys were like probably like late 40s, 50s, 60s who would be out there dancing. I didn't see that many young guys my age.
So how about the female crowd?
Female crowd, uh, outside of us dancing, like when you go salsa club, it's not like you're bumping and grinding, and it's not like you gotta be with someone for them to dance. People just dance with each other, not a problem. You ask someone to dance, sure, you dance. Go back to the table. That's it. That was not an issue.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was still somewhat awkward. I didn't have that much interaction outside of it, but overall, it went well. I mean, I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't talk much about what I did because I know that anytime I mentioned that I was a scientist, that was a conversation killer.
Oh yeah, it would be a conversation killer. But what I'm saying is, well, what you did as an educated lame, you got out of your comfort zone. You knew you had to get out of your comfort zone if you wanted to meet women, right? You're breaking up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Don, can you hear me? Okay.
So much to try to meet women. It was just I needed to. Are you
Okay,
there?
go. Yeah, I'm here. Go back like maybe 30 seconds.
Oh no, I said. Yeah, when I said it's the scientist conversation killer,
Uh-huh.
I said that
Yeah, you're going through
I
rough.
went
Yeah.
out of my comfort zone.
Mm.
It wasn't so much that I was
You're Borgin.
on the hunt for um
Okay.
some
You were okay. You said you it's no wasn't so much you had to get out of your comfort zone, but can you hear me?
yeah, I hear you.
Okay. It wasn't so much you had to get out of your comfort zone, but what?
I needed to I needed to get out. I needed to do something. Not I didn't want to just be a hermit, live in the house, and
Uh
that's it.
huh.
And I already knew how to salsa dance. That's one thing I had learned in Haiti. I think we talked about that on one of Obsidian's live shows. How
Uh
I got dissed at a party when I came back from living in Africa. I
huh.
got dissed because I didn't know how to dance. So
Uh
I told my parents like, hey, put me to ballroom dancing school. So you know, I was I wanted to practice that skill. It's a good way to interact with people and yeah, I mean, look, I'm a homebody by nature.
huh.
I'm a homebody, so that that's what it was.
Yeah, but you knew. I'm saying you knew. But the thing is, you were aware that you had to do something different if you were going to get a mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot of the kickback that I get from what we call quote unquote educated lames. They don't uh they don't want to get out of their comfort zone, which is something I don't.
Well,
Go ahead.
you have to. I mean, anybody anybody who does any kind of dating coach or whatever. I mean, I'm not into the PUA stuff, but I've heard all different kinds of people always say, "Go learn, go learn how to ballroom dance," or
Mm,
"Go take a improv class or something." Just something to learn to interact with people if you're awkward.
mm,
I mean, it served me well. Like I remember one summer I went with my parents to the wedding of one of my dad's coworkers, and they were playing like some formal waltz,
uh,
and you had these not bad looking Jewish ladies who, I was like, hey, you want to dance? And apparently it impressed a lot of people to see me, get on the dance floor, knowing how to waltz.
so what I'm saying is, but that was your way out, the way out of that, out of your shell, out of way
Yeah,
of yeah. See, well, you kind of like are aware of the pitfalls. What I'm saying is, why don't you think that a lot of the so-called ELs don't take the same advice, kind of get out of their comfort zone?
I guess they're chicken shit scared, man.
Yeah, but they get mad when we say that because that's all Rom and I were saying, and you actually dated and married people that were quote unquote in your lane. So you never
Yeah,
were you ever interested in like the Keishas or the Big Booty Brendas?
I mean, a- any human male
Mm-hmm.
with a decent amount of testosterone flowing in his bloodstream, when he sees a big booty Brenda, she got that proper dress, she has the
Mm-hmm.
nice waist to hip ratio, you will feel an awakening of the force in your nether
Uh-huh.
regions.
So
Okay?
so so all those educated lames that say that they don't and they would never are lying.
Probably, if they say they would never get in a relationship, maybe they're right. But to
Mm-hmm.
say that your flag does not stand at full mast,
Uh-huh.
that you don't hear the Star Spangled Banner or the French national anthem playing when you see a nice slim waist and big booty, you lying. Or
Yeah.
you're gay, of course. Or you're asexual.
You got a lot of noise. A lot of noise. Oh, you got a lot of noise.
Hey,
Okay.
hold on a second, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of air noise. Okay. Okay. He dropped off. He'll be back. Okay. Now, it's just something that he'll probably call back in. He's got about another 30, 40 minutes, and then once we're finished, then we're gonna I'll open it up. I didn't want to open it up with him on because I don't feel like mud wrestling. because I just did it. And the only reason that I'm actually having this hangout because he said one, there was two reasons. One, that they said that the educated lames or the classic men weren't repped, even though we have done hangouts repping the classic men and actually going in on the uh, the thugs or the Pookie and Ray Ray, but people don't remember that. All they remember is that Angry Man, who actually I brought in just to rep for that side because we don't ordinarily hear that side. Um, People got angry, so Don Calypso, there he is, he's back. So Don Calypso actually wanted to go in and come in and actually,
Sorry about that.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
BGS, I told you it was inevitable. It's gonna happen.
okay,
Somebody's gonna try to call and interrupt. So it happened, but I'm back.
okay, all right.
Uh, did we have somebody who wanted to ask a question or something? Or
No, no, no. I was just, I knew you were going to come back, but I'm saying it's to fill time. I was just talking about why you're on and why they're not on because I said I didn't really want to. I wanted to hear your view and hear what you had to say without the back and forth that I know is going to come.
well, look. Even though I'm not in the mood for mudslinging and stuff, if people have questions they wanted to ask, because as far as if they want to if they want to know like what I'm thinking or what's my view,
Hmm.
answer a question. If people want clarification,
Good, good.
I'm all for
Okay,
clarification dialogue.
let's go for this. Why? Okay, now this all came about because you were heated about what Angry Man and Cerulean were saying on Saturday and on Friday and Saturday.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand where they're coming from as far
Hmm.
as you know we got to rebuild the family structure. I'm all
Hmm.
for that. But
Okay.
one thing I had said one time, but I guess it got lost in the sauce because a prior statement I had made about if a guy is childless, I don't think a childless guy should get involved with a woman with children. That kind of,
Hmm.
but the follow up statement I kept making that either was not heard or was ignored was that when you have a family member
Hmm.
that is, let's say you have a female cousin or sister or something.
Uh-huh.
Let's say she's an out of wedlock mother. If that's your relative, you do have an obligation to step in for that child to play a
Hmm.
fatherly role. You
Okay.
know, and I've always mentioned that when I was a child and when I was living in Africa, that's one thing I did see the extended family. If for any reason something happened, a woman she broke up with the man, it didn't work out, he died, whatever, the other men in the family would step in. It wasn't uncommon for a child, if something happened to the parents, to go live with an uncle and his wife, to still be raised in that, family structure.
Hmm.
And I think in the women's hangout thing about with how she and her husband, and that's exactly what I was talking about. And actually, my parents did something similar because, when my parents graduated from med school, back then they only earned something like $75 a month. That was the equivalent back in Haiti. Um, my father has had to raise his younger sibling because his dad died when he was young. So what they did is, even though my my dad's siblings weren't living with them, my mom and my dad, they actually helped to pay for the schooling for his younger siblings.
Okay.
So I understand that concept, stepping in, and all that. It's just that my thing was when you're telling a guy if he's childless, okay,
Hmm.
that he has to take on the responsibility of someone else. My thing is, why can't such a person, why don't they have the right to meet with someone, get married, start a family so he can build his own legacy?
Okay. So
But
go ahead.
I'm all for mentoring. If they want you to mentor, pass on your skills and stuff, that's fine.
Hmm.
But that was the thing. So it I could be wrong.
Yeah.
The way I interpreted it was that if you're perceived as an educated lame,
Hmm.
your job is your job is to be the cleanup man, and you shouldn't complain about it. That's the interpretation I got.
Okay. So let
Maybe
me
I was wrong.
let me ask you this. You got okay. So you have as far as educated. lames, unmarried educated lames, for lack of a better term, to uneducated, unmarried or unmarried educated lamettes. It's like 3 or 4 to 1. So in other words, even if you don't want to play cleanup man, even if you don't want to marry or get with a woman that has children, how come you're not getting with the women with women? Because there's a lot of women that are, say like your wife who made it to what, she was in her 30s and she was unmarried, didn't have kids.
Yeah.
So okay, how come educated American educated didn't actually marry a woman like her? Because you found one,
Oh,
you found 2 or 3. So how come
okay.
American men can't do
Again,
the same
just like in our private conversation, I got to
thing?
give the disclaimer hypothesis. I
Okay.
can't say for certain. My hypothesis is that either either those guys didn't notice those women, which I think is highly unlikely,
Mm.
or those women were not feeling those guys. Because just because a girl is a quote unquote educated lamette,
Mm-hmm.
she's still a woman. Just like
Okay.
an educated lame is still a guy, he still gets a hard on when he sees big booty Keisha. An
Mm-hmm.
educated lamette is still gonna react more positively towards a man who has charisma or swag, whatever you want to call it, than a guy
Mm-hmm.
who's awkward, no matter how intelligent he is.
So I mean, with all those women out there, and especially as you get into your 30s, that are actually looking for, actually looking for security, you would think that with all those women out there, they could find one. If
You
they
would
could
think they could, but
if they can attract a woman with kids, how come they can't attract a woman without? Because they said, because they're cooch, when they're the same women, their coochie is going to get wet the same way. So if they can attract a woman with kids, how come they can't attract a woman without kids?
all right. This is not my personal experience, so I gotta give the
Yeah,
hypothesis disclaimer again.
don't have to. You don't give no disclaimer on my show.
Okay, well, no, not for you, but for the listeners. My
Hmm.
hypothesis, I could be way off base, and I'm
Hmm.
open to be corrected.
Hmm.
I'm thinking the women who have kids, I don't think I don't think that they're so much sexually attracted to the educated lame. I'm thinking they're seeing that, okay, my kids may need somebody who's stable, father, he's responsible. But it's
Hmm.
not like she's saying, "Ooh, I really want to fuck him." It's that, you know what, he's responsible and stuff. The guys I really want don't want me, so he will do.
Hmm.
So you know how you always say women are not participation prizes.
Yeah.
Well, the educated lame doesn't want to be a participation prize to the ladies,
Yeah.
a consolation prize.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, with so many women, out there, with so many women out there, from 15 to 45, with so many women out there, you would think if they went out there and campaigned, they'd find one or two.
As long as they find
because
one who's
because
interested.
because every time I ask them, they're having sex with somebody. And 9 times out of 10, when I ask them, it comes down to how the woman looks. So they're being picky,
Yeah.
which they have a
Uh,
right to, be picky. But the thing is, you don't, if you, why complain? Okay.
well, that's the thing. I remember when I was young on the Black Men Vent forum board.
Hmm.
Actually, not Black Men Vent. Even before Black Men Vent, on the Tired Black Men, Tim Alexander had a forum board, and
Hmm.
a lot of the guys who ended up being on the Black Men Vent forum board, who were younger guys in their 20s at the time,
Hmm.
we were all childless. We always said, we want a woman to start a family from scratch. We don't want to deal with kids. And
Hmm.
older guys would be like, "Oh well, if that's the case, you're never gonna find someone." And what a lot of guys, those who don't complain, what a lot of guys said was, if I cannot find someone to start a family from scratch,
Hmm.
then I will just have to bite the L, take that L, accept it, and move on.
Hmm.
Now, again, the one concept I internalized from Black America was stay in your lane.
Hmm.
I think what's happening, you got some guys, they may not. if they're still complaining, it probably means they never made peace with that. You have to come to a point to accept that if you can't get what you want or what you feel you deserve, you
Mm-hmm.
got to be able to accept not having it and be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where the quote unquote educated lanes, that's where they're failing left and right,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
that they haven't come to that point where they can make peace with
Yeah.
the fact that I can't attract the person I want, and that's okay. I can still live my life. I can still find some fulfillment elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. Big J Triple X, you're the motherfucker I want to talk to. So email me because right after I finish Don Calypso, I got some words for you. All right. Just putting it out there. You got a lot of noise, Don.
Oh, some a classmate of mine was calling me. I had to reject the call. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Okay, that's all right. But that's the angst. And then like we said, we have like we got people in here say that Pookie and Ray Ray and Daquan and the thug are the problem. That's the reason that the
Uh,
educated lanes can't find their women.
well, no, you can't. Well, here's the thing. If people are gonna say that, then what the fuck happened to free will? It's kind of like saying she doesn't have a right to make a decision that this is what she wants. I mean, look, gentlemen, I'm not looking at the chat room. Any guy listening who identifies as a Urkel or Carlton or a Theo, okay? If you're a nerd like me, understand this. Not all women are going to be attracted to you. And if you are a quote unquote educated lame, you don't have swag, probably 99% of women are not going to be attracted to you. You got to learn to accept that. If not, you're going to be miserable.
So in other words, a lot of this stuff that's going, in my opinion, I mean, I might be wrong. A lot of this stuff, in my opinion, is going on. The angst between the street dudes and the educated class, or the what we call the upper working class, is women's choices, and they're attacking each other just like women do with each other over men's choices. It's the same thing,
But
like light skin versus dark skin. It has nothing to do with how when they get together and them actually cooperating together. It's about what they think or what they believe men like. And I've seen the same thing with this. It has nothing to do with one dude versus the other because the same dudes could be in a barber shop or eating barbecue or playing basketball or at the lake at a basketball game or a baseball game. But the thing is, when it comes down to women's choices, all of a sudden they at each other's throats.
I guess so. I mean, look, the way, again, I could, because I'm a foreign observer,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, I haven't observed what the dynamics are between the quote unquote suburban black guy and the quote unquote hood black guy. But from my perspective, I don't have an issue with someone. I mean, look, again, the stereotypical image that's brought quote unquote street dude is, the hoodlum, the criminal and stuff. But obviously, especially one of the things Valdez had made clear, when he said how it's offensive when people talk crap about the street guy, he said because they were insulting him.
Yeah.
Obviously, just because somebody is from the that doesn't mean they're a criminal. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're not a good person. Doesn't mean they're not an honorable person who
Mm-hmm.
live by honor code. Doesn't mean that they're not going to respect you if you're a lame or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because my understanding is there are some guys. I think I heard Rom say that there were guys like when you were in the hood and stuff. If they identify someone as, hey, this person, the street life, that's not the type of person they are, but they see a future of them, hitting the books. They, this
Yeah.
is not your lane. You're the college lane type. You're gonna go to school. I better not catch you trying to do the street stuff, and you better get the good grades. They probably, the street guy will probably make sure like you do your homework and stuff because they want you to do good at what you're supposed to do, and I
Mm-hmm.
respect that. So until the whole female mating choice came into it, it seemed like there really wasn't that animosity between the street dudes and the quote unquote educated lames. At least from my perspective, I could be totally off base, totally wrong.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't understand why, because of female choices that one group of dudes attack another group of dudes. It doesn't make
Well,
sense to me. You know,
okay,
but if women want to, if women, because the first thing they say is that women need to be own up and be responsible for their own choices. And if women have
well,
a problem with that and they want to attack whatever the educated lame or whoever because they don't come down and save them, basically you should be getting on the women. You should be
well,
addressing the women about that, not the dudes, because the dudes didn't have nothing to do with their choice.
okay. Here's one area where I think might
Hmm.
be the cause. And the guys in the chat room, I don't know if you want to bring people on or whatever, if they
Not,
want to say if I'm right or wrong. Here's what I think.
not, not,
I'm
not,
thinking
not,
what.
not in this one, because I've already done 20 hours on this shit. So, I'm
Here's
this.
what I think. I'm thinking what happened is the quote unquote educated lanes,
Mm,
their angst might be not so much that they don't get the girls, the women that they want, but that they get clowned and humiliated for it. Because it's one thing, okay, you don't have the swag and stuff, but when somebody, because I've heard this before on Blog Talk Radio, the whole
mm,
thing where if you say something that's unpopular,
mm,
the attack is not going to be that you're wrong or your logic is flawed. Is well, you don't get any pussy, and
mm,
that it's one thing when the women say it because but when you have guys saying like, oh well, fuck you, I don't need to listen to what you say. I get more pussy in 1 year than you get in your whole life. If
mm,
that's what determines whether what you say has merit,
mm,
that's I think that's a major source of animosity, where it's no longer about who has the better argument
mm,
or who has the actual correct facts. It's
mm.
about, well, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how good it is because, you know, you don't get to fuck. I do. And I think also with the women,
Uh,
listening to the guy, if a guy is what they find sexually appealing,
mm,
they'll eat up whatever he said. He could say the sky is pink. They will
yeah,
agree.
that's true.
But if a guy, they find him ugly or unappealing or corny like yours
Mm,
truly,
mm,
he could tell you the truth. He could tell you that, hey, the let's say a guy can say, hey, the dollar, something's going on with the economy for a crash. You might want to try to get rid of your debt. You might, instead of selling your gold, you might want to buy gold, stash some precious metal. And they were like,
mm,
fuck you. Who cares what you say? You don't get pussy. Why should I listen to what you say? Well, if the guy's an economist and he sees it, you should pay attention. Not because just because he doesn't get pussy doesn't mean that he's not speaking the truth.
yeah, so
You
that's what
see?
I'm talking about. But when you get to this point and you say, okay, it comes down to women's mating choices and who gets pussy, then all of a sudden everybody denies it.
You know, that
Everybody
that is
denies
what.
it. It is because we just had it and we just had a
Yeah.
hangout, and every time we brought that up, no, it's not about women's mating choices, it's not about who gets pussy. Come on, man.
Well, when they say it's not about who gets pussy, I think it's more. I think they mean it's about who gets clowned for not getting pussy. Who doesn't get respected because he doesn't get pussy. You know, let's put it this way: if a guy who doesn't get laid
Mm-hmm.
was not the object of ridicule,
Mm-hmm.
if people could, if a guy, okay, he didn't get laid, but people are like, hey, he's a cool person, they still respect him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there would be as much angst. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. You know, um, but it seems to me like even the whole talk when we talk about alpha male, beta male, and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we've discussed it ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
It's about who's a leader amongst men.
Mm-hmm.
However, it looks like people put more importance on who is sexually appealing to women than all those other qualities. So if you have, you could have the leadership traits, be a leader amongst men and stuff. But if you're not sexually appealing to women, you ain't
Mm-hmm.
shit. And that rubs the educated lanes the wrong way. Like, if if you're not considered to be a man, if nothing you say has any value just because you don't get women's pussies wet, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that would be a source of angst. And back on Blog Talk Radio,
Mm-hmm.
I remember I used to get a lot of people pissed off because I would say maybe we got to start teaching boys that what makes you a man is not how much pussy you get, but it's, are you a reliable person? Are you a man of honor? Like, when you give your word, is your word as good as money?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that, I mean, yeah, you want to learn how to please women in bed and all that. I mean, even my parents, as lame as I am, you know what my mother told me when I was a kid? She said,
Right.
look, whether you're getting with a woman for one night or in a relationship, make sure you get her pleased, because biologically your body is made in such a way you're going to get yours. All right. But
Uh,
if if everything hinges on how much pussy you get, I mean, that's fucked up. I mean, it's almost like that's the sole motivation for a lot of folks, you know. And I've heard people say, which I don't know if it's true. Maybe it's true for a lot of quote unquote educated lames.
mm-hmm.
It wasn't for me, but I've heard a lot of people say that. Well, those guys who get the education and the professional achievement, they only do it in order to get money to that women.
Yeah.
And if a guy does that, then as Black Americans say, you're hustling backwards. You work your ass off to get that degree, to get that money, because you want a certain career, you want a
Mm-hmm.
certain standard of living,
Mm-hmm.
you want to provide those resources so that when you have a family,
Mm-hmm.
to something to pass down. You don't do that to get the women. I mean, because if I had chosen a field to go in order to get women, why the fuck would I have chosen biology? I mean, that is such a turn off to women. Well, to Black American women, such a turn off to them.
But
I got into the sciences because I'm passionate about
to most
science.
women,
That's what I like to
to
do.
most women, biology is a turn off. Even to most white women, but you have more white women that are turned on by biology than
Yeah,
black women.
yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. To most, I would say to 99.99999% of the female gender on this
Mm-hmm.
freaking planet,
Yeah.
what I do for a living is a turn off.
Yeah.
I went into it because that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 6, when my parents realized that, man, this little Negro really loves science, they sat me down and said, if that's what you want to do, you got to apply yourself in it. If you want to go into science, do it. Don't go into medicine just to be like mommy and daddy. If you want to be a scientist, work hard at it, get that degree,
Yeah. But
apply yourself.
to 99% of the women on the planet, they're not interested in pipe welding either.
Well, they may not be interested in pipe welding, but they sure love pipe laying.
Which you also have blue collar, what's so quote unquote
Hey,
blue collar lames too.
yeah, a guy who's a pipe fitter,
Uh-huh.
and he got big, and his Timberland boots are like a size 15. Oh,
Yeah.
they're looking. They like that.
They're looking, but the guy that weighs 150 pounds and he's like 5 foot, 130 pounds and 5'6", that's a pipe fitter.
When he's breakdancing, if he can spin and his
Uh,
legs and arms are in the air, oh,
yeah,
they'll like that.
well, if he's got swag, that's the thing. But most guys like that don't aren't the break dancers. Even though Pookie
Well,
and Ray Ray do become pipe fitters and those kind of folks in blue collar skills because they have to. They want to eat.
as Rom Wells said, I don't know if you said it too. When it comes, charisma is one of those traits that you either have it or you don't. You can try to develop some of it. Some of those traits, it depends on the person's their makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Again, stay in your lane, be the best you that you can be. I
So
mean, that's the takeaway message from this whole week.
yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is, how come we have a whole lot of guys that pushing against it?
They're pushing against it because the one message that was said, that again, from my interpretation, was that
Okay.
if you're an educated lame,
Uh,
no, the whole go in the kitchen and wash the dishes. So basically, forget about having a family of your, forget about having your own legacy and stuff.
mm-hmm.
Your job is to get whatever resources you accumulated to clean up the mess in the community. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter that you had no part in making it. That's your job. That's it. Don't complain.
Yeah.
And we can have all the fun. You can't. That's the message that came across, and
Yeah.
that's what they're pushing against.
That's what they're pushing against. How come they don't have? How come educated lambs don't come up with a better alternative since they're so smart?
Maybe they're too fucking lazy. Maybe their brains are just too fried from work to think about.
Don't punk out on me like that.
Well, okay, they're too lazy then to do it because.
They're too lazy. They're too lazy to set in their ways, and
But
they because I hear this a lot from the women too. They think that they don't want to improve themselves. They think that because I got a degree, because I got a job, that I should get a man that of my choosing as a participation trophy. I keep hearing that from
Well,
both sides.
look, I may be an educated lame, but I'm not original. So I'm gonna just bite from Rom Wills once again.
Go ahead.
Work, work on self improvement. Do it for yourself, not in order to get a woman,
Mm-hmm.
but to be the best you. So just because you're an educated lame, hit the gym. Not because you're trying to be a bodybuilder, but you want to. You got to take care of your body. If you want your brain to work right, your body's got to be right. And I think I heard Donovan Sharp say something to the effect that when you work out and you get your testosterone production to increase, it actually helps with focus.
It does.
So as a man, when you're working out, you get more testosterone. That helps you focus. That improves your intellectual performance.
It
So
does.
just for that,
It also helps with your swag. It also helps with your
yeah.
confidence. So it helps with a whole lot of things. Because I trust and believe my son would have been a beta if he didn't play basketball. But the thing is, through playing sports, his innate alpha actually emerged because he was not an aggressive person as a kid. He was actually he was a follower and he was passive. He wasn't aggressive. But when he through sports, he became aggressive. He became a leader. His inner alpha actually emerged.
Well, that's good.
So the thing
And
is,
but
it can happen. And
I mean,
it kind of
the
made a
educated
mind.
lames.
He kind of made a
When you
mind.
talk about sports,
Mm-hmm.
here's one thing. I told you yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
All through high school,
Mm-hmm.
I tried out. I was good enough to make it to the basketball team. I was never good enough to start,
Mm-hmm.
and I got very little play time.
Yeah.
I I I took the effort. My parents spent the money, sent me to camp to get training to learn my skills.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up twisting my ankles. So to this day, when it's winter time and it's cold, my ankles hurt. You know, I
Okay.
get a I have a permanent reminder of that to the fact that I failed at that endeavor.
Yeah, but
But
I'm
you know
saying,
what?
but you got
When I
confidence.
was in college, I had to take a PE class. I took racquetball. Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? I found out I had a talent for it. The coach who was teaching, he was like, "You're good at this." Like I wish I would have known about that sooner. So
Yeah, but it
there
said,
is something
but
educated lanes got a talent in that would improve their
yeah,
confidence.
the confidence was saying, but by going through the process of actually playing sports, did you develop yourself?
Yeah. So look, some guys are not willing, and maybe it's not even laziness. You said it right. You said they're too set in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty as charged. I'm
Mm-hmm.
stubborn as fuck. I'm
Mm-hmm.
set in my ways.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather, before he died,
Mm-hmm.
he told me, and that man was stubborn as a mule. He told me, "Damn, you're too set in your ways. You're too young to be that set in your ways."
Yep.
And he was the most stubborn man I knew in the world.
That's what I'm getting for the so-called educated lames is that they're. I mean, you have to be kind of stubborn and set in your ways to actually get through the rigorous rigorous courses like in STEM or that kind of stuff. You have to have that kind of mindset, but it also is
Well,
there's
you
a,
got to transfer
downside to
that
it.
same mindset as far as it's not easy. It is very uncomfortable. Like
Hmm.
to this day, social stuff, I'm still not comfortable with it. But the same the same discipline you have to exhibit academically, you got to put that into socially. And guess what? As a quote unquote educated lame,
Hmm.
make peace with the fact that you will never have the swag of Pookie or Ray Ray or whoever whatever the guy that's the hottest one for the women out there.
Hmm.
But you got to get to a point where you're comfortable in your skin. You're
Hmm.
comfortable enough with yourself, and that if I'm gonna steal a word from Valdez, Valdez said, the thing with Pookie Ray Ray, that's the kind of guy who can just say fuck it.
Yeah.
You gotta the educated got to get to that point where he can say fuck it. The women are not interested. Fuck it. I still got a life to live. I can still enjoy myself.
Hmm. How much more time we got with you?
I can, you know what? I could probably hang for another 30 minutes before I go pick up Mini Me.
Okay.
Yeah,
What time? Hey, I'm here. Okay.
I could do another 30 minutes about.
Okay. I really don't want to open it up. See if Big J actually emailed me because I got a bone to pick with his ass. He's not gonna email me because I
Well, look. if you don't want to open it up, I understand you don't want any
No, no. I
mudslinging,
mean,
but you
what
can,
do
you
you
can you can read if there are
do?
questions.
Are
If you,
you comfortable with it being open?
well, look at this way.
No,
If you don't want mudslinging, but if there are questions you
no.
think are worthwhile, you can ask him and I'll answer.
Okay. Well, all
Or if
right.
somebody look, I'm I'm just not. Let's put it this way. I'm not in the mood for any insults and mudslinging and yelling, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to answer questions because I mean, look, this is to have dialogue. As you said, it was to get a quote unquote educated lane to get their thoughts on the record.
Yeah, no, ain't no let me in, angry man. This is my show, and this is the way we're running it right now. Okay. Now, if you want to ask him a question, it's gonna be by chat. You
No,
were my
no,
special.
no, no, no. Hey, no. Look, Valdez is cool. I mean,
About this
we've
is cool.
had a few heated situations, but no. Hey, Valdez is cool. I'm open. Come on, man. Valdez and I, Valdez and I, we can
It's
dialogue. So come
it's.
on.
Well, I'm asking you what you comfortable with.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Email me, Valdez. Email me. So what I'm saying, it was see people want to dictate how I run my show.
Oh,
Okay, if it's an open hangout, it's an open hangout. If it's an open hangout, I open it up for everybody. If it's not, I don't. So, so asking me for a link, I already said that. If it's an open hangout, I post a link. If not, then I don't. If I want to talk to somebody one on one, then I talk to somebody one. But he asked him if he's comfortable with it because I didn't want the mud. I didn't want the verbal pit fight. So, and I'm only doing this
oh,
because
hey,
you didn't get your chance to actually speak. So Valdez emailed me. He said you're on the approved list. So email me.
Disarmed. Not ready to arm.
hey. Uh, if if I forward the email to him, should that link work? Because I think I have his email address.
I probably have it. He's got
Well,
my email address. He should be able to email me. I just emailed him last night.
well,
He want you don't have to forward it. It's in at the computer. He sh- but if I wanted to open it up, I'd open it up. You know, but I know how heated this gets because I got about 3, 4, 5 people that want to get in, but I said I don't want it to open up in general because it's a hot topic. Because Valdez was with me on, I think the first one I did. I think it was a midweek. He was on with me and the ladies. He was with me for 8 hours for 8 hours in on Saturday because he was a special guest. So he was with me the whole time. So basically, everything he's had to say, he's had, God, 16 hours to say it, 20 hours to say it. So, and then you said you didn't get your say. That's like I'm doing this for you. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay. I just emailed him a link. If he wants to join, he can. But the thing is this is so you can have your say. And I didn't want because I know what happens when I open it up. And I know there's going to be a back and forth, and there will be name calling. Okay. And I didn't want that. Because this is a personal conversation. You actually said you wanted to be. I said you should actually rep for him and state it aloud because we didn't. You said a lot of people, not just you, did said that we didn't get the other side or what people said on the other side. So um, and I said if we got time, I'll actually open it up for
yeah.
everybody else. But
I
go,
did.
go ahead.
I did see it. I did see a comment. I'll just took a quick look at the chat from Foxfire saying that he said we could talk about classic men, but this has been about educated lanes. I thought the difference between I could be wrong. I thought the difference between classic men and quote unquote educated lanes is just the educated lanes don't have the social skills, but the classic men have it. But otherwise, as far as the you know education intelligence, it's more or less equal.
Yeah, what thing is you actually made that transition because you got married. You actually up your social skills. You actually did a lot of things actually to get a mate because you're married with a child. So, which is what most so-called educated lame or classic men actually want to do. Well, yeah, I know Kevin Sanders is a classic black man, but they jumped on they jumped on Kevin too. So this is another thing I didn't
I,
understand.
I don't understand why people jumped and kept. Kevin said to he said he never said anything disrespectful. All Kevin has been saying was like Kevin has said, he even said, look, there's nothing wrong with being who you are. He said just be the best version of yourself. Image matters. I
Yeah.
don't understand how that could be so offensive to people. That makes no sense whatsoever to me.
That's guys that not want to get out of the comfort zone. Okay, here's a statement. This is from Hashida Hayes. Okay, I think it's Hayashida Hayes. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. As an EL and an average guy, I used to be lazy, but I started improving my social skills and physical skills. Now I haven't got any ladies yet, but as a person, I do feel way better as a person.
Well,
Shout out.
yeah, I mean, ultimately, isn't that what it's about, really? I mean, you don't do all that self improvement to get women. Ron Will said it. That should become. I could be wrong, but he said that should be as a consequence of your self improvement. That should not be the goal for self improvement.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to get your motivation where you can, and most guys are so fixated. I guess they've been clowned so much for not having a woman that they get fixated on it, especially the
Yeah,
black
but if
community.
yeah, but if that's your sole motivation, doesn't that open you up to be easily manipulated? Because all somebody's got to do is just claim that, well, you ain't shit. You with a man. You're not getting laid, and you're gonna end up doing all kinds of stupid shit for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, that's a downside. That is a downside.
Well, I'll just repeat what you and Rom have said. To the guys who consider themselves classic men or educated lames, stop
If well,
shitting on Pookie and Ray Ray, because that.
if Valdez, you have been emailed the link because you are on the approved list. He said you were approved to actually come in. We emailed you the link so you can come in. In other words, I asked you before, when we talk about being a special guest, that you were cool with it because the Saturday hangout is open. Now, anytime, young man, that you want to come on by yourself and stay whatever case you want to stay, you can. Now, this is something that Don said he didn't get a chance to actually come in on Saturday and
Well,
actually state that. And I actually opened this up for him, but he said that you and him are cool, and I believe you and him are cool. So I emailed you the link, so you can come in if you want to. Now, that being said, this is a decision that I made because, like I said, I've done 20 hours on this, and we've been going back and forth for 20 hours, and I'm not up for rumbling and refereeing. So, if you guys want to promise to keep it classy, which you guys always promise to keep it classy, and you don't.
well, look, I'm gonna restate what I've said throughout the whole thing. Like again, the opinions I've given out were big. It was I don't have much experiential
uh,
knowledge of that stuff, so I gave hypotheses based on what I've observed.
hmm
But that's why I said, in some ways, I should be out of this conversation. I sh- if anybody feels that I shouldn't participate, they're probably right
yeah, yeah,
because I'm not of this culture. I can only give it from an outsider's perspective. I just
mhm.
happen to fit what the category would be a quote unquote educated lame. That's it. But
Oh, okay. Young 41 asks, are there any classic men or educated lames that you can question? I'm interested in their way of thinking. Okay, we've done tons and tons and tons and tons of this stuff on classic men and educated lames in videos and hangouts and all this kind of stuff. You guys, if you go back, if you go back in my hangouts, you can find it. Educated lames or classic men have been stating their. Edward Anderson was one of the most vocal people talk about educated lames and classic men and what they should do and who they should leave alone and all that kind of stuff. So we have done it. Now, um, this is a this like I said, I'm gonna reiterate this again. Thank you for your donation, Young 41. I reiterate this again. This is only because um uh Don Calypso is a friend of mine. I consider him a friend, and he said he didn't have his say. So I said,
Uh,
if he wanted to put it on the record, I would open up a hangout for him.
it,
Thus, this is normally
it's
my
my fault.
yeah.
It's my fault. I didn't have my say. It's not that I was kept out. I didn't have my say because I fell asleep and my ass was dead asleep when the hangout happened. That's all. It's not. I hope it doesn't come across like I'm making it sound like I was kept out. No, not at all.
No, no, no. No, no, no. So I said if you wanted to come on, because he's got a kid, he's got a family, he's normally asleep. He said he felt strongly about this. So I said, okay, since we've heard the other side and we heard the other side for hours, he said he wanted to give his view on it. So that's why he is here. So that's why it's not an open hangout. And I run open hangouts, I run private, I run these hangouts all the time. Now, when I'm done with Don Calypso, Don Calypso's finished. He feels that we can open it up. I'll open it up because that's really all it is.
Well,
Everybody want to gun in and they want to have their say.
well,
That's
look.
really what it is.
I've said. Look, there's not much else for me to say. I mean, if I want to reiterate, as one who would classify as a quote unquote educated lame,
Uh-huh.
um,
Or a classic
I
man.
pers-
Or a
well,
classic.
or classic. Well, I'll say educated lame for the simple fact that I'm very well aware of my limited social skills. But
Okay.
here's the thing: I don't. I think it is stupid for a guy, for the quote unquote classic men, educated lames, to shit on the quote unquote Pookie or Ray Ray. I mean, if that's who the women choose, that's who they choose. Don't try to pick a fight with that. That's, as some guys say, that is bitch made. That's one thing. Second, the women choose who they want to choose. So if you don't have the traits, if you really want them that bad, you develop the traits they want. If you don't have it, make peace with that.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, as Rom Wills, Kevin Samuels have always said, be the best you that you can be.
Run the
You know,
best race in your lane.
yeah, stay in
Yeah.
your lane.
And run the best
And
race you can.
and as far as with the discussion, that's so with the black community and stuff. I personally disagree with the notion that even though I'm married now, I'm out of the that race. But once upon a time, I was single, and I could I could have very well been one of those guys who never got lucky, found someone, and I would still be single now. So my thing was, yes, I do believe that if a guy is single, childless, he's better off finding someone who's to build a family with. But I also do agree, if you have pass on your knowledge to other people. Don't just hoard it for yourself. When people talk about mentoring,
Hmm.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And I've also said, when you have a family member, even if you don't have children, if you have a family member, a cousin, sister, whatever, whose child, yes, you do have that obligation. If it's your blood, you have that obligation, to step in. I mean,
Yeah.
don't every religious book teach that
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
take care of your family.
Yeah,
So
I have a childless brother and two childless sisters, and they have helped me immensely raising my children, and they're helping me raise my grandchildren. So yeah, they are doing that. That's what the village is about. Oh, so I'll open
yeah,
it. So I'll actually post a link and open it up, and you can hang as long as you wish, because I know many me's probably
yeah, well, yeah. In about 10, 15 minutes, I
okay.
gotta go pick her up. But yeah,
Okay, well, you can take questions for 15 minutes or however whatever they're willing to do, and then I'll hang. What time is it? Two. I'll hang another hour, maybe hour and a half, and then and let it go. So there's a link, folks. Jump in as you will. Keep it classy. If you don't keep it classy, trust and believe we will end this hangout tonight. I'm not playing today. All right. Uh, appreciate it. Pookies and Ray Rays and Player, whatever, can try to help guys who have trouble with this. Yes, they're bad ones, but yeah, and that's true. The link's there, so if you want to jump in, I've always been on self-improve. As an EL, I was constantly getting clowned when I was younger. I studied to select guys, like I studied all my intellectual pursuits and figured out what was exactly and fixed it. Exactly. Exactly. All right. If you're on, speak. Kevin, jump in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, just going back on what I said in the super chat. It's like
Mm,
I used to get clowned all the time, and at first I did take it to heart, and I was like, why the fuck they are always like talking about me like this? But then after a while, I just figured I could sit around and on my ass and just like just take that shit and just be like mad about it all the time, or I could get out and do something about it. So I start. Not only did I start, looking at the dudes who was getting selected and seeing what they were doing, I started looking at magazines and seeing how I should dress. I started looking at everything, and I started picking it apart and saying like, what are they doing that's getting women that I'm not doing, whatever. And I fixed it. Like, so I agree wholeheartedly with your message. Like if you're either in the place and you either believe you have the power to do something about it, or you just sit there and you just you let the world just do unto you because you just want to be who you are. You just want to.
Yeah. Hold on, Black Wizard. Anybody jumping in on the hangout? Okay. I'm gonna make this perfectly clear. I'm gonna make it perfectly clear to everybody gonna say I'm not for this goddamn shit today, all right? Because anybody that wants to clown and start shit, call names, basically you're gonna get booted. All right. So keep it classy. If you want to be trying to have a discussion, a positive, constructive discussion. Nobody's thrown names. Nobody's clowned anybody. Basically, Calypso has said that he doesn't believe, he's never believed in shitting on anybody. If accept who you are, make improvements where you can, and run the best race you can. So anybody wants to jump in and start shit, trust and believe. This is my off day. Fridays and Saturdays I handle it because it's open. But I'm saying is keep it classy because I'm tired, and it was a long week last week with this stuff. It's not normally what I want to keep going all week. So come in, keep it classy. We can chop it up. If not, trust and believe. The pin pan is out and there's no velvet glove on it today. All right. So with that being clear, we go ahead, bro.
I came on real quick just to make a brief statement, and then I'm gonna leave.
No, okay, go ahead. He's there.
No, this is about what was just said a second ago.
About what?
Because see, here's the funny thing that I noticed. I seem to be the only nigga in the manosphere that can admit when he's wrong about some shit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just say what I need to say, and then I'm gonna leave. I was on a hangout where educated lames were allowed to come on and talk whatever shit they wanted to talk. And numerous times I was told to stop talking. I was told to mute. Whereas the educated lame gets to come on and say everything unchallenged with nobody on here. And then the moment I asked, the moment somebody said something, the only reason I even said anything about a link is because you had asked him if he wanted to allow anybody to come on. So I said, send me the link. And it's like, no, I'm not sending you the link. Okay, cool. Then I won't come on. But here's the thing. I came onto the hangout to talk about Ray Ray and Pookie. The educated lames were allowed to come at me. But I'm not allowed to come at the educated lane
because
that's biased.
Well, no, it's not biased because we agreed because you were on the women's hangout. You had something to say about that about alpha males and beta males, and it was getting ready to get into something. You wanted a back and forth. I said we're gonna do the back and forth on the hangout. Because that's what you wanted. If you wanted to have your say without anybody else, I would allow exactly the same thing. The same rules apply, and I've done that before.
See, here's the thing. Here's the difference. When I come onto a show and I talk about the educated lane, I don't attack the educated lane. All I talk about is where the educated lame is lacking and the things that the educated lame should do.
You've insulted them by saying wash the dishes and accept your place, and they you don't think it's an attack, but they take the front to it.
Okay, at what point is so a person that washes their dishes at home that need to be washed?
I understand, but it's an insult to them. Yes, it is.
No, insult is when you talk about niggas from the hood like they ain't hitting on shit, which they do incessantly.
And I actually said the same thing to them, did I not?
But Valdez, I thought that
it's all good. It's
No,
all
no, no,
good.
no,
'Cause
no.
I see the dudes in the chat room. Oh, he's emotional. He's I want a fair playing field. That's it.
And what I'm saying
But
is,
it's all good though.
what I'm saying is, okay, if you know the first what 20 30 minutes in the hangout, were we not on by ourselves, so that you could actually get exactly what you wanted out the way you wanted it out. Even though on Saturday it's an open hangout. Now, if you want to be my special guest, like Calypso was, you're welcome to hit me up. I will get you on. You know, I'll get you on by yourself for however many hours that you want to be on, right? However many hours by yourself. But Fridays and Saturdays are what open hangouts. And normally with content creators, you don't normally have to, because you can say what you want to and get your point across anytime you want to. But if you want to be my special guest and on an off day, you can get the same treatment anybody else gets.
Oh, it's all good. All
But
the educated lames. I'm gonna just say this. You thought I was fucking insulting you before. The gloves is coming off now because I'm sick of you bitch ass niggas talking shit about Ray Ray and Pookie. I'm sick of it.
And that I'm exactly. That's how come I am getting heat, because I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of being insulted
And
constantly.
And they think that they haven't been insulting you. That's what they think. And
no, they have. They have, because their argument is that Ray Ray and Pookie is getting women that Ray Ray and Pookie shouldn't be able to get. It ain't our fault you can't get pussy. It's not.
Okay. All right.
But in fairness,
which is something that we've said, I've said, Ram says, we said on Saturday. I had two videos saying exactly the same thing, and they're bucking back at it. Now, if you want to be on again, because I didn't give you equal time, I'm willing to give you equal time. You can come on with me on my platform tomorrow, and we can say anything you want to say. Just you. Do you want that?
Yes.
Okay, tomorrow. You email me, give me a time. You can come on by yourself. It's just me and you. You can say anything you want. Is that cool?
All right.
If nothing but fair. That's how come because you wanted the back and forth, and I knew that it was going to be heated. Who's here?
Can I just make a quick point? This is why I had said this is why I had said that when Valdez said, like he shit on, the quote unquote street dudes, I was like, he's got a point. He's right. And yeah, I agree with him perfectly. That's why I said that thing has got to stop. Like the message that, those guys attacking the street dudes, that's right. It's got to stop. It is pointless. So hey, Valdez, I agree with you, man.
Well, I don't think he has.
I couldn't see the chat. If somebody was saying something attacking you, I didn't know about it.
Well, they've been attacked. They've been. I've had to delete some comments. I had to go back at people about this kind of stuff. Even in the comment section. I'm sure he's read them. I'm sure he's seen them. And I'm here to actually clear the air about this stuff. We're here so this stuff can kind of like stop, and so that people can actually improve themselves. I don't think he had a problem with you, particularly Calypso.
You know what the problem is, especially with the dudes in the chat room talking about, oh, he's emotional. There's a reason why I'm emotional about it. The majority of my friends coming up in high school were educated lames. I had a lot of educated lames as friends who went on to go to college, to get degrees, to become engineers and shit like that. And guess what? The dude that a lot of niggas be talking about, that guy that was protecting educated lames, that's who the fuck I was. I went to blows over my friends that was educated lames. So to hear educated lames talking about, oh, Ray Ray and Pookie ain't shit, these hood niggas, these street niggas ain't shit, that shit is crazy to me.
It is crazy. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, but during the hangout, I thought that for the most part, a lot of us were respectful. I think I was, Grizzly, Archer. I thought it was just basically you and Linnell going back and forth, man. I didn't think everybody was disrespectful to you.
And Linnell's not an educated lame. I don't know why he had a problem with it.
Lame.
Okay, but so who on the chat was being disrespectful to you? Because I thought we were just having a passionate exchange.
No. I didn't say no. I said on the hangout, everybody, excuse me if I misspoke, on the hangout, everybody was allowed to address me directly. That's what I was saying. You see what I'm saying?
I feel
Don Calypso was being more exclusive, but BGS is saying, okay, well, that's because it was a Saturday hangout. Okay, I get that. But what I'm saying is, like, I didn't have a problem with Foxfire. I didn't have a problem with you, Foxfire. I didn't have a problem with Young Grizzly either, even though he said a couple things I didn't agree with. I didn't even have a problem with Linnell. I know why he mad about that shit. I'd be mad too if I got a divorce and woman took some of my shit. I'd be mad too.
Yeah,
I'd be mad too. But what I was upset about is the fact that while I was on the hangout, there was a shitload of motherfuckers who I know were educated lames. Oh, Angry Man don't know what he's talking about. Angry Man full of shit. Angry Man too emotional. All that old bullshit, man.
Yeah, I understand that. That's like the chat is a chat, and basically that's why you have a wrench.
But but I can't be like.
Yes, you can. That's why you have a wrench.
Because it's your. See, here's the thing, BGS.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I'm an asshole, but I'm not a total asshole. I'm not gonna go in the chat. I'm not gonna go in your chat room and just start deleting everybody.
What I'm saying is,
let me translate what Valdez means. What my buddy Ronan says. Asshole with principles, and I respect that.
Exactly.
Y'all ain't shit.
Sometimes, like I know I can be a dick. I'm not a total dick.
But hey, Valdez, this is exactly why Rom did that video when he says, like, you know, we gotta stop that shit. I mean, look. First, I'm not gonna name the name, you know, but you know, for a certain someone, that's why if I'm ever there, and I've seen people come in and start talking, oh, Angry Man, there's a bitch and stuff. Yeah, you know what? I mute him because I'm like, yo, that's some bullshit. Don't just go talk shit about people, especially behind their back.
Right.
And honestly, man, this is why when he said, oh, Valdez wants to speak, I'm like, no, let Valdez in. Valdez is cool with me. Let him in. I don't know if you got the email. That's why I made sure I forwarded you the link.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting shit all week behind it. I mean, all fucking week behind this, and I don't get it.
You ain't the only one. Obsidian just did a video today.
I don't watch his shit, so you know he's dead. To
but
me.
This isn't anything new.
Go ahead.
He just did a video addressing me today about Ray Ray.
Can you take a look at the wall?
I'm probably in there
next to the
somewhere.
phone where you are.
Yeah. Go ahead, jump in, Bitter Truth. We got you if you want to talk. Okay.
Talking to somebody else.
Hey, you got still here. I'm not gonna go away, but I'm gonna keep myself muted. But I'm still around because this is getting good. Let's just air it all out. Look.
Okay, wait a minute. I did 20 hours on this stuff already. I mean, 20 hours on this stuff. What? Let me ask you. Let me hook out for me. What the fuck is this, man? I did 20 hours on this shit. Y'all still fighting about this. What is
you really want BGS? You really want to know? You really want to know BGS?
Yes.
Because you done did 20 hours of this shit and you ain't addressed a goddamn thing.
What did? Okay, what did? Oh, please invite me. Please invite me. No. Everybody mute. I want to hear this shit. What did I address?
You ain't addressed a motherfucking thing. You might
Well,
motherfucking
motherfucking enlighten my motherfucking ass, please.
Now that I had to bulldoze my way to get it down.
Motherfucker, you been in. What the fuck you talking about?
Here's what there are two concepts, in my opinion, that has not been addressed.
One.
First one.
All right, Bitter Truth. You got a lot of noise. You got a lot of noise, Bitter Truth. I muted him. Go ahead.
The first one is what I call the law of reciprocation. Now, you once said on a video a long time ago, when you said, when it comes, because I refuse to use that EDL word. As far as I'm concerned, you call me EDL, you're calling me a nigger. And I consider that a declaration of war.
Huh?
If you call me EDL, I consider that a declaration of war. I'm done using that word. But as far as the point is, the law of reciprocation states that if somebody going to do something, they have to get something in return. Now, that does not have to be tangible. It can be intrinsic. Like, for example, you talked about on another video, you talked about like when people are going to war and they're going out to be
bullet points. Get to the premise first and then get into the details.
Okay,
I'm not understanding you.
My bullet point is this: you have to get something in return, whether it is something untangible like respect, or it's something tangible like pussy.
Okay.
The reality of the situation is that a lot of these outlier black men, if they got the respect, they could probably live without the pussy. Or you could have a lot of breathing room in which
respect from whom?
From the men as well as from, I'm talking about, this is a class conversation at this point. I'm talking about from the certain classes of men as well as from the women. But the reality is what's being said. I said in the chat, I said, what do men with resources or men with intellectual capital have to gain from going in the hood and fixing?
Okay, let me address that real quick. How long have Pookie and Ray Ray and Dayquil and Daquan been getting shitted on? How many years?
All black men have been shit on.
No. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Wait. I asked you a question. How long has the low class black men been shitted on?
All black men have been shitted on.
No, not the upper class dudes. Because the upper class dudes do what? Who do they shit on? For years.
Okay, I got a question. Hold on. Let me ask you. Let me respond to that with a question. When you look at all these daytime talk shows for the last 30 years, how many daytime talk shows has been done for outlier black men? Talk about what outlier black men don't do. You know, they say all black men because the outlier black men, as far as they're concerned, to go leave your ass for a white girl. The outlier black men have been what they call it, charged with vacating the community. So we're seen as the ones that basically say fuck the community and let it die. So we're the cowards.
That's true.
And that's what street dudes say. We are all lumped in the same boat. It's just the angle it. So I'm not going to answer that question because you've never seen outlier black men.
Have outlier black men not shitted on low class black men?
It's just as much as street dudes is done in reverse.
What it say? A fair exchange is no robbery, right?
But that's not my premise.
But that's not your premise. What I'm saying is, let's address that because you don't think you're getting your due respect.
No,
when I was fucking coming up, if you wore a suit and tie and you were corporate, you got all your respect.
Sorry, I was born after that.
You were born after that.
1992. I was born in 56, so that died in 92.
No, well, it might have died in 92, but guess what? Long before you were born, long before your mother was born, low-class black men were getting shitted on. And they're still getting shitted on. It hasn't stopped.
Yeah, just like dark-skinned black men were getting shitted on back then.
It hasn't stopped. So in other words, you're saying that you haven't gotten respect. When has the low-class black man gotten respect?
But you're talking to somebody of a different age, though.
I don't
See, that's something you can say to
it ain't stopped. Are you guys still shitting on these guys?
We're shitting on each other, BGS.
Exactly.
I'm okay. First of all, okay, let me do it.
Hold
on, are you a Pookie and Ray Ray, or are you an educated black man?
I have been both.
So you're a hybrid.
I'm a hybrid.
I'm a hybrid. So the point is, that's another thing that's annoyed me about this argument is we have these broad, like most niggas on this panel or in this goddamn chat are not Steve Urkel. I haven't really seen, you wanna see what a Steve Urkel looks like. After this chat, go look up a guy I follow. His name is Heavenly Controller. I went to school. I was a chemistry major. I went to school with him. With who? So would you consider yourself a Steve Urkel?
I was a basketball player. I couldn't be a Steve Urkel.
Okay, so my point is most of it are hybrids and it's variation of degrees.
But
is Angry Man still on here?
He's right there.
Okay, I remember when that chick that said, "Oh, you can't be a nerd because look at how you look. What are you talking about?" That's one thing he mentioned. the point is we're allowing people to tell us who we are, and we're sitting here like fucking roaches fighting over what other people say we are. Most of us are it's just a variation.
That's what the fuck I said when I first put out the video that Romulus was talking about. That's what the fuck I said.
Well, what you hear me about Rom, and I love Rom to death. I'm actually subscribed to Rom as far as his $7.99.
That's what the fuck I said. I've been saying that's what the fuck I said for 20 hours. What part of it did you not get?
Hold on, but the way it's communicated is in this old ass nigga patronizing standpoint. And I'm gonna tell you, just like I tell dudes that I respect at the barbershop.
Well, young ass nigga. No, hold on. So hold on a motherfucking second. Hold on a motherfucking goddamn second. Motherfucking young ass motherfucker, give me the New Jack age way of saying it. Because you don't understand what the fuck I'm saying.
I'm gonna tell you, like I tell the older guys in the barber,
give it to me raw.
You all gotta stop coming off. You gotta stop coming off with this nigga just do it. This is the way I would tell people to say.
Wait a minute. What have you been saying for 2 years?
You know, hold on. It's real ironic there's somebody talking about respect and then being like, oh, you old ass nigga.
I'm not calling you an old ass nigga. What I'm saying is that's how it comes all across.
So how should it come across?
May I interject? May I interject for a second?
Let him finish what he got to say.
No, I'm gonna let him finish. But what I want to know is, say my name when I'm allowed to speak, please.
Okay.
I'll go back to me.
Right after he finishes.
The way it needs to come across is like this. Look, and you've done this, and you have no idea how many times people be coming to me with you, and I just say y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talk about. I can tell you don't listen to his videos. So I say this with respect, but the way it needs to come across is, I feel your pain, and then you actually say that, in which you did, and then, but at some point we need to have the fucking now what conversation. At some point we have to have, okay, black women are choosing whoever the fuck they choose. We need to have the now what conversation. You've been debriefed. You know what black women are doing. It's obvious. The videos are redundant. We have 1,000 hours or longer of archives across channels between you, Angry Man, Black Ram, Soapable, whatever. It's out there. We know who Jesus is. You don't need to preach the good news. Now, if we're going to continue to have that conversation, at some point we have to add the now what conversation. And then you split off the niggas that don't want to have the now what conversation, because those are niggas that just don't want no information. They want to be entertained. And then you say, okay, for everybody that wants the now what conversation, which by the way is the main reason people follow you, which your channel alone has been why you've grown, is because people want that contextual information. And you usually do that. But what happened was you piggybacked off of the way Rom said it, and Rom was just getting a lot off his chest, having a good rant like you do, but it came off as you niggas need to shut the fuck up and just take it. No matter what the women do. And my thing is this, the women can do whatever they want to do, but I'm allowed to respond the way I want to respond. So if I want to walk away, as Mr. Research said, I shouldn't have. Don't tell me I'm fucked up because I get a white woman, or I betrayed the black community, or I travel, or whatever. You made your own fucking decision. So what I would tell sisters, shut the fuck up. Because it ain't that I wanted a black.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Let me ask you. That comes back to the second part. The second part, and give me 30 seconds. The second part is this. A lot of what black men do online has nothing to do with they mad because they don't get pussy. What it is a response from 30 years of black women shitting on all black men on these fucking talk shows. And it's like, the reason why black men ain't fucking with you like that, because a lot of the when I say valued, I'm not saying educated, I'm not saying outlier black men are more valued necessarily than street dudes, but I'm saying that ones with as far as school and that different type of track, what they have done is they've been, you look at Lawrence, for example, on Insecure.
You got 10 seconds.
Okay, my point is they have been rejected and they're going to take their shit to South Beach. Don't get mad like he just left. You kicked them out first. You kicked Isaiah Thomas out of fucking the Celtics first, and now you want to burn his jersey because he left? No, the nigga was traded. Black men were traded. They didn't leave.
All right.
So if they, hold on. So if they shut the fuck up,
wait. You said nigga. Didn't you say 30
so anyway,
seconds?
I'm done.
All right. you can come back in a minute. Valdez,
Can I say
hold
something,
Can I hop in?
wait a minute. Bitter Truth is actually next. Valdez.
I'm hurting, BGS.
Huh? Say what? Valdez.
I said I'm hurting.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah.
BGS.
No. Now you know why I didn't want to open this shit up, right?
Yeah, and I just want to say for the record, I may go back and forth with you and shit, but I ain't never referred to you as an old ass nigga.
Well, I don't. You know what?
And then say we don't get respect.
I want to say one thing about being an old ass nigga. Okay, when you get to this age, I will see how willing you are to die. Okay.
Yeah, old ass nigga is actually a blessing,
Yeah.
but it's real disrespectful to say some shit like that.
I don't give a shit because a lot of these young motherfuckers are following me because they don't have the knowledge that I have as an old ass nigga.
True.
I don't care. That doesn't bother me because I said I call him a young dumb motherfucker. Get your ass in the pit and best me. Okay, go ahead, Bitter Truth.
All right. Because I've been listening to the whole argument the past week, and I've been trying to catch you live. Oh, who's huffing? Shall I shut up?
No. I'm saying hub because I said it's been a long week.
It has.
And you could, dude. You know, you could have emailed me and been on. All right. You know that.
Right, but I had to hit the notification bell so that way I could catch you live. Because I'm like, damn, I keep missing them. But
Okay.
at any rate, from my perspective, all right, because I see it's such a hot button topic.
Oh man!
But let's really delve into it.
Well, go ahead.
Because let's really delve into it. A lot of Black society grew up in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not all, but a large percentage grew up in poverty. Okay, so a selfish, self-serving scavenger mentality has been developed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't grow up poor. I didn't grow up rich. I grew up okay. All right. But I did hang out with impoverished people as well as well-to-do people. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There was a mismatch between my father's side and my mother's side.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, of course, I'm cool with both sides. I'm cool with the Ray Pookie and them division, and I'm cool with the educated lame and the middle of the roaders and everything. I know how it all operates. Okay, I like to stay in the middle. The thing about it is that I have the problem with the Ray and Pookie Nims is pretty much the same problem that I have with the educated lames.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when it's time to do some shit, it's just talk. It's filibuster. It's bullshit. I can't get them off their ass because they niggas. Exactly. I hate to use that word, but because they niggas. And the thing about it is that with the well-to-do, the educated lames, because they grew up impoverished, they hoard their money. This is why Black society is so fucked up. But we got all these multi-Black male millionaires and women running around with all this goddamn money. But what do? They're on Instagram showing off the brand new $100,000 cars and their houses and all this shit, knowing that the hood that they came from is in disarray.
What are you talking about?
If you shut the fuck up and let me get it out, you'll understand what I'm saying.
Thank you.
God damn. Anybody with any common sense know that I'm going somewhere, so calm the fuck down. You had your turn. With the Ray and Pookie and them, I can identify with them more than I can with the educated lanes because I grew up around them. I chose to be around them because of the type of dudes they are. They are right. But with them, when it comes to trying to get shit done, nobody wants to acquiesce power. I'm saying not everybody, I'm quotations. Everybody wants to cheat their way to the top. They want to get the power and do the most minimal amount of work. Do you understand? Mm. They will slit your throat. Not all. Understand that. Will slit your throat for a fucking dollar. Mm. Okay? Because they've never had anything.
Facts.
So when you try to present it to them, the greed, the poverty, the despair kicks in. That quick dollar kicks in. For me, it has nothing to do with pussy. I fuck the same bitches they fuck if I choose to. They not hard to get. All you gotta do is just say what the fuck the dude is saying. If you around a Ray Pookie them, you know the language they speak. Yo, what up, shawty? Damn, your ass is fat, babe. Yo, what's up? You want smoke? You want to get something drink? You got the bitch in bed before the end of the night. It's not hard. It's not hard. I don't give a fuck about no bitches. Pussy is a dime a dozen.
Preach.
It's the camaraderie, the time to get some shit done, the call for action. That's where I have the problem on both sides of the fence. That's why Dr. Amos Wilson said, I do, it was either him or John Henry Clark. I'm not
Amos
sure, correct me,
Wilson.
BGS. Yes, said, I do better with the middle of the roaders. Because at least they know both sides of the fence. And they know, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, man. We gonna get some shit done. We gonna have to get it done. Me and my black neighbor across the street, who's a family man. We're both family men, although this is not my kids. You know, we both get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Street needs to be get cleaned up. Me and him get it done. Fucking neighbors across the street, they need to be checked. We get it done. The punk motherfucker next door, the black dude next door that's single, that love to run through these raggedy ass bitches, he's a Ray Pookie them. The nigga don't do shit. The rich motherfucker that's on the other side, he don't do shit. It's us middle of the roaders that get the shit done. And the whole reason is because we care about it. Look like this. If you are a man, if you care about anything outside of yourself, motherfucker, come holler at me. That's it.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing, Brother Bay. The problem is when I hear brothers talking about, well, I shouldn't have to do this, or I shouldn't have to do that. That's not how I was raised as the man. I was raised that a man looks out for not only himself, but those around him that he's strong enough to take care of.
Exactly. Shit.
I was raised that a man puts himself first beyond everything else. And anybody that wants to come along, they will do what they need to do to come along.
No, he doesn't put himself. He puts his mission and his purpose and his purpose above everything else, not himself.
Exactly.
Agreed wholeheartedly.
And everybody else will fall in line because they see that you are determined to be successful at something.
Because the reason why a man cannot put himself first is because sometimes he's gonna have to sacrifice himself for his mission or for his purpose.
And if you're putting yourself first,
one at a time.
If you're putting yourself first,
put yourself in the queue since everybody wants to talk over each other.
Yes,
you're in the queue.
Yeah, I want to be in the queue. I got to go pick up my wife in a little bit.
You go first then.
All right.
Angry Man, did you finish your statement?
No, I just wanted to say, like, here's a prime example. You know, I was at my sister's house, which is in the hood. There was a couple young boys out in the parking lot getting ready to fight, and there was a bunch of women out there. Even one of the boys' mother was out there egging the shit on.
Egging it on.
And I know them because I cut hair in that community. I know the young boys. There was 3 boys on one side and 1 on the other. I went out there, calmed everybody down. I said, look, if you can't get over it, then this what you do. Both of you shoot the fair one right now. I stand here and make sure it's fair. They shot the fair one. I made sure the other boys didn't jump him. They got finished. They went their separate motherfucking ways. The police didn't have to be called. Did nobody get shot? Did nobody get killed? That's male leadership. All right.
Black Wizard, jump in.
Yeah. Earlier, Edward was saying that there's no now what kind of conversation, or you wasn't bringing that to the table, and I'm here to say that this is that. You know, this is the now what. The thing is, we've been through this for however long, and now we're at this point where you're like, all right, you know, at the very least, you know, they're not going to change, and you know, you're not going to change, so you're going to have to figure out what you can do about the situation now. What are you doing? Do something about it. You know what I mean? That's what I was getting from all the content that's been coming out for the past week. And then next, why a man can't put himself before his mission It's because if you put yourself first, if you rely on yourself as guidance, then you will always be lost. You don't have a mission.
God. Okay.
You know what?
Mission.
Wait, babe.
Foxfire,
Let
go
me.
ahead.
Can
Okay.
I answer him though? Can I answer him? His first part, just his first part.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The first part. Oh my goodness.
Shorten it up though, because somebody else's turn. Go ahead.
All right. You know what? Go ahead.
All right.
No, go ahead. You had a point to make. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I lost my train of thought.
Yes.
Hey, no problem.
What are you doing in the background? Mute yourself if you're doing something in the background because it's picking up.
Oh, well, let me mute because I'm at work.
Oh, okay. I'll mute you. Just jump in when you get ready.
Okay.
All right.
10-4. Hey, one thing that I have to disagree with Edward on is about putting yourself first. Anybody that believes in having a family, you come last. If you have a wife, you put your wife first. If you have children, you put your children first. And a man sacrifices for his family. That's what my father did. That's what my grandfather did. That's what black men have always done. So you don't come first. You actually come last if you're a man who is responsible and wants to build something. What I do agree with Edward on is the fact that the shitting on doesn't just come from one side. A lot of educated lames and classic men, and I'm not asking anybody to take out a violin for them, but a lot of them do get shitted on. A lot of them do feel like, man, I've done everything that society asks. I've done everything that society says that black men don't do.
Mm-hmm.
I've done all of those things. And now that I've gotten to the mountaintop, now that I've made the sacrifice, now that I didn't go to the parties, now that I took the extra co-op at GE and worked my ass off that summer instead of going on spring break somewhere, now that I've gotten to this point, I have to catch it from my own people. A lot of the people that didn't fuck with me. So that is an issue. Also, one thing that we're forgetting is that, for educated lames and classic men that are coming from the hood, I think that's a separate discussion than the educated lames and classic men that were raised outside of the hood, because a lot of those brothers are highly disconnected. I'm friends. I mean, people can say that I'm highly disconnected. The majority of my friends are white. I do a lot of things that are outside of the community. So if I didn't have a social conscious, a social awakening, it would be very easy for me just to stay in the suburbs of Cary and North Raleigh and just chill out with them and do that type of fly shit. So I think that some of the times in the educated lame and the classic man, when it's our turn to get paddling, so be it. But let's at least be balanced, because it's not all just one way.
So first of all, I live in North Raleigh, so I take offense to
Hold on, well, greetings, esteemed brethren.
You take offense to that.
You know what? Hold up, Edward. Been talking a lot. I'm disappointed in you.
First of all,
you my brother now. Hey, hold up.
Hold on.
Now you my brother now.
No. Wait a minute. Let him get it out, and then you can respond.
Now you my brother now. I love you as my brother. But goddamn it, motherfucking dishes. The way that you have acted up to this motherfucking point. See, this type of behavior is as a child. If a young man acted like this, you get sit in the goddamn house with the women. Like stop playing. You crying about a skint knee? You crying about a skint knee? Take your ass in the house with the goddamn women. Go help your motherfucking mama.
Are you joking, or you got something really to say for real?
What I'm saying is you said that. What about the what now conversation? I mean, it's only been since the middle of last year that I've been following BGS. That conversation has already taken place.
Okay. Give me an example.
That conversation has already taken place.
Give me an example of what
Okay, whenever
a
I first got put on, when I
or a
first got put on the
classified
B,
in
when I
men.
first got put on the B, when I first got put on the BGS, I actually went through his catalog and reviewed his material. There is a video in there, okay? It talks about the end of the gender war. You know when that video is made?
I do know, I do have a recollection that was made a while ago. So let me respond when you're done, because there's a couple key things I want to point out.
And then secondly, you weren't traded. All of rejection is a skint motherfucking knee. What happens when you fall off of the bike? You get your ass back up on it and you try again until you got that motherfucker down. You
Are you
see,
done?
now, no, I'm not done. And see, now I ought to talk for the next 5 minutes since you keep interrupting me. You see,
Go ahead.
The thing about it is just because you get rejected by this woman over here or that woman over there. See, a lot of you niggas want to date outside of your motherfucking area. Y'all want to date outside of your region, outside of your stratosphere. You know where the fuck you fit in on that chart. You want a motherfucking Ferrari, but the only thing you got to trade in is a
Man,
goddamn
fuck
Ford
out of
Fiesta.
here with
No,
that.
no, this is a
BGS,
reality.
I
This is
would
a
have a
motherfucking
private
reality.
conversation with you.
It's a motherfucking reality.
I
Because
see
I've
this is
sat there and I
going on.
fucking listened. I actually listened to Obsidian's fucking podcast, nigga.
Oh, all right,
I've
all
seen
right.
him. He
Why are
went,
you
yeah.
talking to me like
And I'm a
I'm
Patreon.
What is-
And I'm a motherfucking Patreon of Obsidian.
I don't even subscribe to
Nigga, and I
Obsidian,
see
so
what he
why
did. He
you
went and
keep
he changed the thumbnail. He followed Angry Man's advice, changed the thumbnail, even though he went and got a new Oshkosh B'gosh jean jacket.
Bro, what the fuck does that have to do with what I'm talking about?
all right,
And
go
that
ahead.
nigga was on there fucking crying and whining that beauty was everything, and he wants that respected. Men do not demand respect; they command respect.
Oh,
Dude, okay.
And you
So
are not being a fucking man. And I am telling you to stand the fuck up and all that whining shit. Because I've heard you on every fucking hangout when I participate on, and you fucking cry on about these goddamn women, and just
are
because the
you
women are
willing?
acting fucked the fuck up, that
All
does
right,
not take
BGS,
away
you
the
gonna let me
responsibility
respond to this
as a
nigga right
fucking
now.
man.
You
Just
gonna let
because
me
women
respond to
act
this
like shit does not
all
mean
right,
that
all
you
right.
as a man have the
so really.
fucking luxury of
So
acting
since
like
we want to
shit
talk
as
about,
well.
All right.
since
Let him
you want to
respond.
get
Because the
personal,
conversation of
no,
what
since
now
you
has
decided you want to
already
get
happened.
personal,
Oh,
since you decided you want to get
no.
personal,
Wait,
hold on.
wait. Now you go ahead and respond there.
So
But
first,
no,
so
you
let
still
me
my brother and I still
before
love you.
hold on before
You know,
I deal
I still love you, right?
before I
Okay,
deal
all
with
right.
your ass.
Go ahead and
Let me
respond.
make this clear.
Yes,
When I
sir.
called you an old ass nigga, I am not talking about me personally calling you that. That is the mindset of a lot of these motherfuckers is out here
Okay.
disrespecting that
Okay.
type of
Let me
base.
see what I'm saying. Okay.
That's number one.
Now let me ask a
That,
question. As old ass motherfucker who has outdated ideas, why did they?
hold on. I'm
Why?
telling you, you're
No,
not listening.
no. I'm asking you a question. Why did they follow me?
You know, I don't know. I
Thank
don't
you. All right.
look, look.
Now go ahead.
Dude, okay, no, okay. Let me backtrack on that.
No, thank you.
You know when you in the damn barbershop and you hear these dudes that want to say what black men need to do, and
Mm-hmm.
even though they lived their life, did they dirt, they got a
Mm-hmm.
nerve to want to tell these young dudes, not saying I understand, they have no fucking solutions, no fucking actual detailed action steps. Not saying that's you. And what happens is that triggers a response. Fuck that old ass thing. It's the same response black men give boys watches all the goddamn time. Same
It's the
shit.
same. It's
Fuck
the
that
same
nigga.
response.
That's what it,
It's
no,
the
hey,
same
hey,
response
hey,
that
you
you
let me
niggas give us.
Sharuna.
no.
Let him
Now,
finish.
that's another thing. The other thing is, anybody that's been on these hangouts know good and goddamn well, I've always used the term mission. So when I say a man needs to put himself first, I'm talking about mission because a man defines his mission
Well, you got to
in the
use
United States of America.
you got to use the right words then.
Okay, fine. But everybody jumped on that. But the reality, so I ask all of y'all before I move on, who defines a man's mission?
He does.
Okay, then. So by definition, that man is in control of what that mission is. Now, as far as the family aspect, the family is a part of him and a part of his legacy anyway. That's another point I was going to make too. A lot of dudes don't want to sacrifice to what they don't control. And that's another thing that conversation's never had. But that's something on the table. Now for you, Cerulean, since you want to get personal, you want to talk about
Who
crime.
said you don't control it?
Wait. We're not gonna have the crosstalk.
Well, angry man. Okay. When we talk about child support, torts, all of that.
No. Hey. Respond to Cerulean. There's not gonna be
okay. So now, as far as you want to come at that, dude. Real talk, Cerulean. You done disrespected a friend of mine, a dude I do business with quite a few fucking times on my hangout, and I've let you do it out of respect. And I don't appreciate that. But you want to talk about me hollering, ranting, raving,
and who is this? And who is this?
Hey, whoa.
Now,
Hey,
stop calling me Obsidian. Because you keep on having conversations about Obsidian like fucking Tourette's when I speak. I don't subscribe to Obsidian. I don't like Obsidian. I don't give shit to Obsidian. I don't know what the fuck you. And I don't like Thomas Sowell. So I don't know what the hell you keep doing that for. It's like you pretending I'm a different fucking person. So anyway, I'm done with
who is
that.
this gentleman? I want to know.
Wait. Okay, enough of that.
So anyway, so anyway,
So
with that.
Let's
a man is loyal to his mission first.
Okay.
And anybody that's not in alignment like that with that needs to be removed. That includes your goddamn mom, too, by the way. Most of you, and a lot of y'all niggas gonna be tricked by that. But the reality is, a lot of black men can't conquer women because they can't even conquer their own damn mothers. And what I mean by that is take the mantle of leadership. You're right, it is commanded. And in order to command it, you got to be willing to compete with any and all rivals. And a lot of dudes talk a big game, talk about women will just comply if you do the right thing. That's bullshit. The reality is they do the right thing, or they can get gone, or your ass can get gone.
No, they do the right thing when you behave like a fucking man. That's when they do the right thing.
So I gotta
wait. No, wait a minute. Go ahead, LAR. You're actually next. I didn't want. This is exactly what I did not want.
Well, I'll have a private conversation.
This is gonna watch themselves.
All right, LAR, go ahead. Because we got about another 30 minutes. You want to get in or not? Mike Vincent, you want to get in or no? No, you're actually. I'm asking.
I'll go last.
Okay, you can go after LAR. Go ahead, LAR.
So I asked this question in the chat. Is part of this problem the fact that Pookie and Ray Rays and quote unquote and educated lanes are really trying to fight to be the face of the community? Like one of, I mean, because, and that's what it looks like to me at times.
Okay.
Like somebody wants to be known as the alpha, who's the black man who should be respected and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And on one end, if you were educated lane, you could be looked at as a person who's not going to take respect, who keeps asking Pookie and Ray Ray for respect. And Pookie and Ray Ray have the reputation of they're going to take this. So if that's the issue, how about do what men do? Have Pookie and Ray Ray compete against the educated lame about something that see who's the better man. Because either one of them can't be the man every year. It seems like people trying to hog the shine. Like, I'm the man you'll never be. If you want, put that shit on the table and see then.
We got more?
They already did.
You know what? He is talking exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I was talking about.
Hold up. When you said they already
wants
did,
to wear the crown mantle.
Go ahead.
Hold up. When you say they already did.
Go ahead, LR.
This is what I mean. There's no rematch clause. There's no run it back. It's just whoever won, whenever they won, that's it.
No, because what the problem is, LAR, is it's a problem of the Ray Ray and Pookies would classify as Sigma males. They're willing to compete, even if it's at their level. You see what I'm saying? The problem is a lot of educated lanes, and I'm not naming everybody, but some of them, they don't want to compete. They keep trying to make rationalizations as to why they shouldn't compete, and they're trying to browbeat people and shame everybody into not fucking with Ray Ray and Pookie so they don't have to compete.
That's not true.
That is true. That's what you're doing right now, Edward.
I didn't shame anybody. All I said is just like when you invest in the damn stock market, you get what you pay for. A woman is free to choose whoever she wants to choose. What I don't want to hear
Well,
is
this
you coming back after the
well, this
fact.
is
Hold on, I don't.
Ain't no hold on. Actually, you guys are actually cutting out on LAR's time. Now finish up what you got to say, and LAR continue because Mike is actually next. Ain't no velvet on this glove today. Now finish what you're saying. Finish what you're saying, Edward, and then LAR.
My problem is when you choose what you choose and you don't get the results you want to get. Stop fucking talking about all niggas ain't shit when the reality is you chose who you chose. That's just all it. That's all I'd say with it. I don't care who they choose, but don't then say that it's a black man's fault. You chose what the fuck. Own your shit. That's all I'm telling with sisters. Own your shit.
Well, we've been saying that forever. Go ahead, LAR. You
So
got more? You got more?
No, just a little bit. Now I'm done.
Go ahead.
So how about this? Since this is a hot topic.
Damn, ain't it though?
yeah, I see that. Y'all fucking on my shrimp fried rice.
You ain't shit. hey, a Negro, you ain't shit. You know that? You award boy, shit.
My bad. That good old H2O. How about we figure out something to like who business, invention, something, and have since it's a topic online, get a Pookie and Ray Ray team versus a motherfucking educated lane team. Figure out what you gonna compete for and go for that shit. Winner take all online. If we're people that serious,
I'm down.
You want to know the?
No, you ain't.
Mike, nigga, my note's been on the table for quite a bit.
Mike, huh?
Quite a while.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
If you want to jump in.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I think part of the problem is that black men who are considered to be the educated lanes or the classic men don't have any social representation in the neighborhood. Now, I do a lot of volunteer work with the NSBE, which is the National Society of Black Engineers, for pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. And one of the problems that we have here is we don't have enough black male representation. And a part of the problem with the kids, the boys, is that they're looking for male leadership and they're looking for men to gravitate towards, but there aren't any men there. And a lot of times when these men are like your educated lanes, they get clowned. I think Don Calypso kind of hit the nail on the head. There's no respect for them in the community, but at the same time, they're seen as an appliance, like a dishwasher, so to speak, or a refrigerator, as something to be used like a tool. But at the same time, you don't want to respect them. But the Ray Ray and Pookie, or the type of man that women socially should not be reproducing with.
Get the fuck out
those
of
men.
Wait.
Let me finish.
Those are socially reproduced with Pookie and Ray Ray. Why?
Valdez, let the man talk.
I'm after Mike,
talking
please.
about.
Let the man talk. Finish, Mike. Or the hotline. Is your wife in the state, Cerulean?
Can I please get an opportunity to respond to Mike?
Right after he finishes saying what he's got to say, you can respond. Thank you.
So what I was just basically saying was that socially, a Ray Ray or Pookie is somebody that a woman should not be reproducing with to build a family, but the women still do it. And at the end of the day, those women are defending these men against the educated lame, as if the educated lame is the bad guy, when in reality is the Ray Ray and Pookie, who they consider to be, the hierarchy in the community. He's really putting you in that situation. It's really not, the educated lame or the classic man that has done anything wrong. The classic men or the educated lames went out and did what they were supposed to do by society's standards. But at the same time, they're not respected in the black community. Now, when I travel for work, and I run into other black men and across multiple continents, they all say the same thing about black women. Black women have no respect for them. But when they go out of the outside of the community, white women, especially white women, they really ride for them type of brothers. But when you come back to the black community, you don't get that sort of respect. So what's the to a classic man or educated lane, they're like, well, what's the point in us coming back to rebuild anything if we're not going to be respected?
Okay,
all they want is a little bit of respect.
Okay. Charles says she has to go. So Valdez, can you kind of accede to her and then go after her because she said she
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
bounce
yeah,
off?
yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I was going to make room for someone. As far as what Mike is saying, I understand what you're talking about with the lack of respect, but what's going on is what we're looking at with you guys. You constantly keep complaining about the same thing of the women that you can't have, and you do have the opportunity to go wherever you want to get whatever woman you want or you can get. But you keep complaining and messing with the same women that didn't choose you from the beginning. So that's what we're seeing. And that's what other men are hearing the same thing.
Is that a response to my comment?
Oh, well, I guess
Yes.
you. Is that okay? Well, you want to make a response to what she said, or
I don't think I made that that I hope I didn't make that reference because I wasn't talking about women at all. I was more or less talking about the community as a whole. They don't respect those type of men. I even heard men on past hangouts say that they don't go to certain black neighborhoods because dudes want to fight them.
And there's a reason
Just
why.
because.
And there's a reason why.
Just because.
okay?
No, it ain't just because. There's a reason.
Okay, Charlie, are you finished saying? Are you finished with what you wanted to say?
Yes, I passed the ball over to Angry Man.
All right. Go ahead, Angry Man.
All right, so I'm gonna tell on Keisha and Big Booty Brenda right now. So if there's any watching, please forgive me for telling your secret.
Okay.
The educated lame is a trick to Keisha and Big Booty Brenda, and the reason why is because Ray Ray and Pookie will do one thing that you guys have outright said you refuse to do. Ray Ray and Pookie will raise somebody else's kid. Ray Ray and Pookie will get in a relationship with a single mother.
Yes,
Ray
they
Ray
will.
and Pookie will stay there and hold it down, even if she goes out and gets goes to college or gets a job or whatever. They may be playing Madden. Some of them niggas is watching them kids too, so they don't have to pay for daycare. What they see with you, what they see with the educated lame, is that the moment you got a little education and a little bit of money, you bounced. You abandoned the community. And guess what? As a woman who is bearing children, she is not going to put her trust in a man who abandons the community, because if you abandon the community, you'll abandon children. So guess what? They say, yeah, I know the educated lame want to come back here and mess with me because she got a big booty. So what she going to do is she going to get some of your motherfucking resources. But no, she's never going to respect you because you abandoned the community. That is why they fucking do that shit.
As a matter of fact,
Tell
to
me I'm
piggyback
wrong.
off of what Angry Man is saying, how many times have you heard on this very channel that women are inseparably tied to the environment? Men are not bound by the same restrictions that women are whenever they set down their flags. We're not.
I'm about to choke on that.
Hey, truth. You can say I'm making it up. I'm trying to tell you the truth. I'm trying to tell you why they do it.
Don't address the chat. Don't address the chat.
Can I say something about that?
If he's bothering you, you got to wrench time his ass out.
I'm not disagreeing with your premise. What I'm saying is, if you keep dehumanizing what you consider to be an educated lame or a classic man or whatever label you want to put on him, he's gonna be less reluctant to want to participate anyways.
I want to respond to what Angry Man said.
Go ahead.
And you know what? You're right. They do see the educated lame as a mark.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, this is why a lot of the ELs, this is why they bounce out, because they come in, and there's been videos on this. They come in, they try to beautify the neighborhood, all right, but they get jumped on, robbed, even killed.
Exactly.
Because you have the lower class who see them as them trying to show them up. And the thing about it is, I spoke about this with the whole bringing a factory for that employs 300 into a black neighborhood and trying to change the black neighborhood. What's going to happen is you wind up regentrifying your own neighborhood, because some poor are they're just poor. They're never going to change their conditions and environment because that's what they've been conditioned to accept. So when you as an EL come into a poor black neighborhood, of course you're going to be seen as a threat. They automatically associate you with selling out, trying to be white. Not that you've educated yourself and bettered yourself and have come back and tried to uplift either a Keisha that might have a kid by, you know, by somebody or whatnot, but you are looked upon as a white man in black skin. You are looked upon as a threat. So therefore, when he suffers, the EL suffers the indiscretion at the hands of his own people. That's when he say, okay, you know what? Fuck it. You can have it. And he's gone. We destroy ourselves.
But let me ask you this, bitter truth. Let me ask you this, brother Bay. Would you or would you not agree that previous to the 80s, the 90s, did educated black men, did they or did they not remain in their communities even after they got their education?
You know what? They did. My father, he's an EL. Okay. You know, he didn't start off that way. When I was, you know, because they both told me the story that when I was born, my father, he was working out of one of them dandy sandwich trucks. I don't know if y'all know what that is. BGS might know what I'm talking about. Them sandwich trucks on wheels with the silver walls, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he was working out of one of them. And my grandmother, his mother said, hey, look, you can't feed that kid them sandwiches. You need to do something. So he wound up going to computer school. He graduated from there. He wound up getting a house. Okay, that my mother, who came from an impoverished family, fucked up. Okay.
Now check this out. I'm gonna show you why Pookie and Ray Ray have so much animosity towards the educated lane. Like I said before, there are a lot of us who actually looked at those educated lames that was in the hood and said, oh man, you doing good, you gonna make it. We're thinking that these educated lames are going to get their degrees and make their money, and they're going to help the community if they were afforded the opportunities that some of us didn't have. But the problem was a lot of them got their shit and they dipped.
But you have to ask them. And I know, believe me, I know. But you have to ask them. You say you have ELs as friends, right? You grew up with them and everything. Yeah. Ask them. Truly ask them. Like, look, man, what made you go this route? Like, you know, what type of trauma was it? Because I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, they're going to say, man, I got tired of black people fucking me over.
No, you know what it was?
That's gonna be their bottom line answer if you really listen to what they're saying.
Hold on, I'm gonna address the 500-pound elephant in the room that nobody wants to say. A lot of them did it because of what you said earlier. When some black folks, because they are not used to having anything and they have been impoverished for so long, the moment they get a little something, they feel like they're better than other niggas, and they say, "I'm out."
That's a bit of a weak argument.
But that's like
wait, one at a time. One at a goddamn time.
Say that again, Mike.
I said that's a bit of a weak argument.
No, somebody said because Obsidian said that. I didn't see him in here. You said because what?
No, wait.
They are.
No, everybody said.
Number one, if they are better, like complain about someone that you're better than.
Hold on a second. Obsidian, before you can sit on this panel, you have something to say to me?
Beg your pardon?
Before you get on this panel, you have something to say to me?
Hello?
No. That's not the word. I need an apology, sir, before you sit on this panel. Otherwise, have a good day. Huh?
Why?
Oh, come on, nigga.
Bye. Have a good day.
Just apologize.
Have a good day. All right.
How hard is it to say, you know what? I'm sorry. Let's bury the hatchet and get this over with because I enjoy having debates with you. How hard is that?
For the record, BGS. I have a question I want to ask because you guys did mention something about guys who once they make a certain degree of economic success, they bounce and leave.
Uh-huh.
Now, as the foreign observer, my question is, what about the person who was not born of that environment? That maybe their parents or grandparents left, they were raised in the suburban environment and stuff. is there the same view as far as, are they still seen as having abandoned, or is that
Man,
different?
everybody's like damn.
They put you in the same
Can I-
category.
A lot of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I say something about the
You inherit it
If,
because
if,
your
if you
parents.
do I have to everybody get in the queue, or can you guys not speak over each other?
Cool.
So we're one at a time. Go ahead. Go ahead, Eli. You're speaking. Go ahead.
Part of what Valdez was saying was true about you guys used to take care of kids. I think part of the flip side of that is those are the same guys that used to beat kids too. So sometimes that same dysfunction, or their dysfunction, even if they don't bully those kids, is part of the problem too. Because that dysfunction and that animosity started from kids for a lot of people. Even the people, because the guys that used to be the protectors wind up being the bullies. So some of that is that people just don't want to be around the kids. You know, I'm just saying that's the two-way street of it.
And that's true, but there used to be a time. That's true, but there used to be a time where, when you had a situation like that, you had to deal with it. See, we live in a day and time where men are coddled and men are allowed to run from challenges or run from issues.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like.
We're not going to talk over each other.
Okay.
Wait till you guys speaking, otherwise you guys are going to have to get in queues. Finish what you're saying.
Well, still sharp and still like the educated lame is not the only dude in the hood that got bullied, that got challenged, that got attacked. You see what I'm saying? Street niggas get bullied and attacked. Everybody gets bullied and attacked in the black neighborhood.
Everybody does. Everybody gets challenged.
Everybody.
I absolutely agree with that. But I would say that most educated lanes will be under that umbrella of, or even feeling that there's a zero tolerance policy for when they go left. That's one of the issues. Even the Pookie and Ray Ray, they can get in the shit.
Go back and explain that, man, because I don't think I didn't get that one. So go back and.
Okay, what I mean by that is, when the guys who are considered the Pookies and Ray Rays, when they do dirt, they may have they may continue to do it for a while. Guys who consider themselves educated lambs or whatever, they feel like there's a zero tolerance policy if they do the same type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be the good kids. So kind of like the church dude getting caught at the strip club.
Because we expect. Here's the problem: when you're in the black community and you're dealing with the conditions that America has put on black people view the educated amongst us, those of us who have the opportunity to go to college, we view them as the hope of the black community. So of course we're not gonna want to see them engaging in stupidity and engaging in dumb shit and all of that shit. That's why when I was in school, it's like, yo, my homeboy right here, he trying to grow up to be a doctor. You're not gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna fuck you up. You don't try to don't try to get into that bullshit or get engaged in that dumb shit that we engage in.
Yeah, there's another factor to piggyback off of Angry Man. There was a conversation Don Calypso and BGS had earlier in which we're talking about the math situation. Mm-hmm. And there's been a kind of a plot, a type of game ran on you by the Prussian school system. Like you remember the story I told you, BGS, when I was scrambling to see what I can do as far as my education, whether or not to leave the field of engineering altogether, and follow up with that, post-grad degree, or just continue on in the field of social science. And the thing is trying to go for an advanced degree like microbiology. Mm-hmm. I realize that's like another $80,000.
Yeah.
Because lab time ain't cheap.
No, it ain't.
This is the same reason why you see so many, especially black females, coming out of college with a gender studies degree. Why? Because it was cheap.
Yeah.
Because it was cheaper than doing the science. And then and I knew people in school that had all of their prerequisites, and all you have to do is go to a university, get their post grad stuff, and when they get there, they're told that they have to take $120,000 loan.
Yeah. You look at it, okay, it's not going to be worth it. You're not going to recoup that.
And this is actually a ploy of the Prussian school system. This is all subversion. But what happens is, whenever you've been subverted, the people subverting you, they can step out of the way, watch you destroy yourself. And this is really what we're seeing with this whole educated, lame, and Pookie and Ray Ray debate is evidence of subversion.
But
instead of collectivizing, realize, okay, this is a ploy played by the greater society to keep you disorganized, instead of forming up like Voltron, because there are people who are out here that are willing to do the work. Some of them just lack the resources. I mean, I'm in the community. I've been to the boys' homes, to the juvenile prisons, and the, even some of the adults. And every story is damn near the same. Like if I decided
and they know how to fix it. That's what I'm saying. That's because you read the books. They know how to fix this shit. They just don't want to. They want the system to work the way it actually works.
They've known it for a long time. The book I recently just got in the mail, the Oxford Handbook, Economics of Poverty and the Urban Politics. That book was originally written in 1952. So they've known how to fix the problem for a very long time. In 1952, that's before the Selma bus boycotts, okay? So they've known how to fix the issue.
Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead, Edward.
Nobody still has not addressed the something for nothing, aspect.
Okay. No, hold on a second. Take 3 minutes and please make it succinct so we can all understand what the fuck you're talking about this time.
I'm gonna start it with a question. Okay, let me say it this way. We talk as though the community got around these outlier black men and pushed them into college.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like, how in most communities you get around your intellectual capital, aka your smartest.
You're borging out. You're borging out. You're borging out.
Around them and
you're borging out.
Rally around them to get them through.
You're borging out.
Wow, this is man.
You're borging out real bad.
All right, I'll come back.
Okay.
All right. Can I
matter of fact, this thing, Kevin Samuels said, when he was a youngin, that the hood dudes would protect him from all.
But
matter
even
of fact, when I was growing up, I was mostly a bookworm until I ended up in middle school. And guess what? I had that same deal.
Well, guess what? Here's the thing, because I know what Edward was getting ready to say. He said we're acting like the hood would rally around intelligent black people and push them through college. Well, let me just point this out. Every single dope dealer I know that actually became a big time dope dealer that didn't get caught, didn't end up in prison, or didn't get killed, their kids are fucking college students. Their children are educated lames.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
Ricky Ross said he had 12 kids. All of them went to private school and went to college.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's their kid.
Matter of fact, after the assassination of Fred Hampton, a very prominent Chicago drug dealer looked after Fred Hampton's wife and kids after he was assassinated in '69.
They do that all the time. They actually pay for kids. The little nigga in the neighborhood that don't have no clothes, can't get nothing to eat in college. He has to come out. I seen him come out of their motherfucking pocket, or actually show up at the campus, with his bitch in his car, digging his pocket, and handing that little nigga a roll. Okay, I seen that.
Fucking AZ Faison, freaking Rich Porter, and even Alpo's crazy ass would go around the hood giving niggas thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So those individuals. So that's an exception for. So anybody that's got money that came from something that helped them along, of course they owe the group.
But I want,
But that's not the majority at all.
No, I want you to make your point, Edward, because you haven't made it in 3 tries.
Look,
Make your point.
Okay, my point is this: there is no something for nothing. Mike
please.
said when it comes to respect, everybody wants to talk about the pussy argument. But really, the reality
No,
is
actually, Ulysses is after him. But yeah.
what we're coming down to is we're trying to say you are not allowed to make an individual decision to do what's the best for you and what you're trying to do in life. What you have to do is you have to come back to the hood and you need to basically, as far as I'm concerned, bail out people that made decisions that didn't get the same outcome.
Let me. Okay, I'm gonna address this real quick. Because Sergeant Willie P is actually talking about the same goddamn thing. If you bail out, all the educated lanes bail out, because there's only like maybe as far as educated lanes, if you talk about all of them, there's only like maybe like 1 million of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And say you all bailed, or say you all bailed out, right? You all bailed out. You all sold out. You got into integrated into quasi white supremacy, right? Where you actually come from. You got your own little bubble, okay? If you ain't got the other 48 million, 45 million black people backing your ass up, how long can you stay in your position?
The problem with the outlier black men,
I asked you a goddamn question.
It depends
on
how much
it depends. Ask you a goddamn question.
Let me answer the damn question then. The answer is the problem with outlier black men is they don't group up. When they get to these suburbs, SWP spoke on this, one of the smartest things ever said, it's absolutely true. They don't group up amongst each other. And they don't create.
I'll give you that point.
No. Well, let me finish.
Hold on. By the way, Chrissy also said this when they say they don't promote themselves. That's our issue, and that is pretty much the advantage that we would have over the law. An organized offense could always be a disorganized.
You cannot have a capstone of a pyramid without the bottom fucking foundation. What he was asking you was how long can a top 1% stay in power if you do not have the rest of your group? The answer is you can't.
You can't.
Okay,
which is the reason why upper strata black boys find themselves right down here with Pookie and Ray Ray in just a generation. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell that to any other subgroup.
One thing you're gonna do is stop yelling. That's one thing you're gonna start doing because I'm getting a headache.
All right,
I'm gonna let you talk. Now stop yelling. Number one. Number two, we're gonna let you talk because it's actually Ulysses that is next. Okay, so I asked you to make your point. Now I asked you a specific question because you talk about respect and reciprocation. Okay, and going your own way. Basically, you know what? For the most of the black people, most of the folks in the black community say, you know what? If you want to go on that side, stop complaining. If you're gonna go on that side, go all the way. Go all the way. Stop complaining about the black community. Go all the way. Don't be a coon. Don't be a coon. Don't talk about the black community, what niggas do. Go all the way. Say, I'm not with them. I'm on my own.
So now we're all coons.
No. No, wait. What did I just say? If you were listening, I said, don't be a coon, which is shit on the black community when you get over there. That's what coons do. Go over there, do your thing, be happy, marry whoever you're gonna marry. If you want to bring your sister along with you, go over there and live in the rosy little bubble and be happy. Don't shit on the black community.
That's a false choice.
And don't beg and plead when the revolution comes.
No.
Because the third option is to build your own shit, and that's what that's what outlier black men don't do. That's the now what conversation.
Okay. Let me ask. Let me because I know Cerulean will agree with this. If 1 million black, say if you could get, which you can't get, if you could get 1 million black men, 1 million black educated lames or classic men to group up, get their own little bubble, form their own little communities. How long do you and you get cut off from your base? How long you think white people are gonna let you be?
They're going to fall back down into lower strata in a single generation, which is exactly what has happened, which is why you see the tragedy that is happening in Prince George's County right now, which is how you end up with the Xanatos clutch, which is exactly how you end up with the Xanatos clutches of the fucking world.
You end up with the Xanatos clutches because they don't group
No,
up.
you end up with the Xanatos clutches from the world because isolationism for black folks is economic and political suicide.
Are the upper
You're projecting on me. I didn't say anything about isolation.
Are the upper tier Jewish people cut off from the rest of their community?
The rest of their community doesn't have the same problem.
I'm not.
So how many people are in the United States of America? Because you talk about million, it ain't that many. It ain't 48 million Jews.
They don't have the same problem. It's beneficial. It's beneficial for them. It's more beneficial for them to actually work. It's more beneficial for the top tier Jews to work amongst the Jewish base. Okay, you can't say the same for top tier black folks. We don't have the same position that Jewish folks have. But they don't have the discussion.
One time.
That they have
Jewish folks.
Let the man finish his thoughts, please.
Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is this: what's the role of an alpha Pookie and an alpha Ray Ray in his community if he's an alpha? Why does the alpha Pookies and the alpha Ray Rays need educated lames to come in and save the goddamn communities?
The Pookie and Ray Ray.
If you need educated lanes to handle your business.
Ulysses. If you're gonna ask a question, you gotta let them answer.
That's the question.
Pookie and Ray Ray are not alphas; they're sigmas.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Let me ask you a question. You're a black man in Los Angeles. If you're not connected to the community,
wait, are you barked out? Say that again.
I said you're a black man in Los Angeles. If you're cut off from the black community, what's going to happen to you eventually?
BGS, you know as well as I know that there isn't a cohesive black community in Los Angeles. We are a mixed community.
Okay, let me.
Guess what? When shit goes down, guess what we are?
A mixed community.
No, when shit goes down, guess
when
what
shit went down in '92 with the riots, where were we?
Who was out in the streets?
I'll tell you what was going on. You want to know?
Who was out in the streets
at the time? It was all of us.
You know where I said I live about maybe 3/4 of a mile where the goddamn riot started.
I know that.
I was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Who was out in the streets? Who was out there at Parker Center protesting protesting for that shit?
That was black and brown folks.
There's black folks. In fact, all black folks of all strata.
Yeah. Like I said, I was out there.
And I was out there. No, that's your community, even though we're mixed. What happened? Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Valdez.
Can I respond to what he said? And by the way, Ulysses, can I get through my statement without you saying get the fuck out of here like I allowed you to get through your statement?
Hey, you be on that shit all the time, bro.
No, wait.
Let's go.
Can I take off this glove for a minute? What did I just say? You guys want to continue? Because this is my off day, and the Lakers getting ready to start in a minute anyway. You guys got 30 minutes. You guys want to cut it off now, or you guys want to continue this conversation?
We can continue it.
Well then, continue. Let Valdez answer your question.
Floor is yours.
Okay, first of all, an alpha, by definition, is a leader of men. A sigma displays the traits of an alpha, but he does not want to lead anything. That is why I said the majority of Ray Ray and Pookies are not alphas. They appear to be alphas, but they're not. Okay, they're more of the type of dudes who rebel against. They're non-conformists.
Yeah.
Are Sigmas more alpha or Sigma?
Let him finish his statement, and then you can respond.
They rebel. Now, as far as the Jewish community, you said the Jewish community have a different structure. That may be true, but here's the problem. If the Jewish community, if the top tier Jews around the time they were trying to reestablish themselves, if they decided to give up on the bottom tier Jews, they would have never gotten to where they're at with such small numbers. The reason why they have tightened up their group the way they have and they're so strict about certain things is because they recognize and understand that when you have a minority, you have to be more organized.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have the best of you as far as education, as far as resources, separating and becoming nomads.
If it's not beneficial,
it is beneficial because it's beneficial to the entire group.
I'll determine what's beneficial.
Wait. Let him respond. Let him respond to what you just said, Valdez, and then you can get back in.
And I'm gonna have to disagree with your premise that Pookies and Ray Rays are Sigmas. That's bullshit too. The reason why I'm gonna say it. The reason why is because, again, if they were Sigmas, that would still put them in a higher status with regards to the male hierarchy than the educated lames, would it not?
Yes, it would, which is why they get the pussy. Which is why they get the pussy that the educated lames want.
Get out of here!
Whoa! Okay, because Kevin Samuels will tell you that the educated alphas are called masters of the universe. They have the whole package. They're not basically the reason you call them educated lanes because they are not alphas. The alphas of that group are the masters of the universe.
Because even if you got
and that only represents like 0.1% of black males.
There should be enough Sigma, Pookies, and Ray Rays in the black communities to clean the shit up without educated lames having to go there and do it.
Hey, you listen.
Cool. I got a legitimate question about
it. We get it. You don't like niggas in the hood. We
That's
get
not
it.
what I said.
That is what you're saying.
Don't be disingenuous.
Whoa.
Don't be disingenuous.
No, you being disingenuous.
All right. Do I have to be disingenuous? Okay. You know what? It's pregame, and you guys don't want to play nice, so.
I'm good, but I'm just like, come on, man. Don't come on.
Well, I don't. This is the reason I didn't want to open it up. This exact thing, because that's what it descends into. It's a hot topic, and Don Calypso said he didn't have his say. I said I will actually have you on by yourself, so that you can actually have to say what you want to say. Because if I open it up, this is what's going to happen.
BGS, in all fairness, I wanted to address Angry Man's point on Saturday night. I didn't get a chance to, and you opened it up, so I did. But I didn't want to steer it in the direction where you want to cut it off either. So I apologize if that was the case, but that was something I wanted to address from Saturday night.
I have the same offer to you that I have offered to Valdez. If something you want to get off your chest, I will open up and have you on by yourself. You can do it uninterrupted.
I wanted to address him directly on something Saturday night, but
can I please ask a question before you shut this down for you guys to ponder?
And basically, Valdez has a channel. If you want to address him directly, get on his channel. He'd be glad to have you on and may actually sling some mud if that's what you want.
Yes, can I ask you a question?
He's a content creator. Go ahead. Actually, somebody before
LAR asked to say something.
Go ahead. LAR. Y'all give me a headache. You know that, right? Go ahead, LAR.
Sorry, man.
I'm a hater because I think the Lakers suck, but that's your team. But anyway.
Oh wow.
Now
we see how far you go. One and out, man. One and out. Who you repping for? Who you repping for? The Pelicans or the Rockets?
Okay, see, I'm gonna stick to my question.
Okay.
LAR still moving.
Wonder Woman, dodge that bullet, man. Go ahead.
What can both parties actually fix about each other individually to be able to work cohesively with the other? Because it seems like ultimately both groups are failing by themselves.
They're not. They're actually in the same pool, and they don't realize they're in the same bucket.
No.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. What I mean is, if lanes feel like they're winning, but eventually their kids lose. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The other groups probably feel like they're winning because they want to get more women. Eventually they lose. So we're not really winning separately.
Because we can't. It's like what did Claude Anderson, who's the most quoted black man on the planet right now? That everybody quotes him, but they don't understand what the fuck he's saying. What did he say? He said it is a what? It is a group sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said. He said it's a group sport. So all you motherfuckers quoting Claude Anderson, saying this individualist shit, you need to send your books back, send them a donation on top of it, because been quoting him and shit. And don't understand what the fuck he's saying.
But don't you have to have an individualist agenda? If you're gonna do anything for the community, don't you have to have an individual agenda?
Nobody fucking gets anywhere by themselves.
I understand that, but at the same time, I mean, if you won't have an agenda, that means you ain't about shit yourself. So that means you ain't gonna do nothing for the job.
BGS, this is what the problem is. The problem is there is a top tier of men because of educational resources in the black community.
Okay.
That believe that the majority of black men who are in the hood are irredeemable pieces of shit who aren't even worthy of a goddamn alpha, beta, omega classification.
Let me ask.
Exists in every class, every racial group.
Yes, it does. Well, let me ask. I'm gonna put this succinctly. You don't want to hear complaints about amongst top tier guys, those classic men, those educated lanes, those young entrepreneurs. You know what the first thing they cry about, including Byron Allen?
They can't do business with black folks.
They cry about support.
Yeah.
But you're an individual. Where's your support come from?
You need support if you're an individual.
Well, okay, so my answer to that, I have heard that. And you know what my direct answer is? My direct answer is, why the hell are you not working with people that are like you? And you need to understand that you see, this is where me and Ulysses, I rock with you, man. But this is where me and Ulysses, sometimes butt heads. And I've had kind of.
Hold on a second. The people that are like you, who are your customers?
When I hold on, I'm talking about defining that. It's how you define that, and different people define that in different ways. When I say black people, this idea that educated black men do not want to work with Pookie and Ray Ray is actually bullshit, because when you find a black man, I don't care what his background is, that is shown he's got the energy to want to do something, even if he don't got money or resources and stuff like that, if he's got effort and he's got some information. I'll give you an example. I deal with a dude that lives in deep, it's in fucking Granville County. This dude has his own house, has his own outhouse in which he does mechanic work. He's a brother that can do body work. He's a 50-year-old, I argue, Pookie and Ray Ray. I have sat there and talked to him for hours while he works on my car and stuff like that. And he's shown me some things, and I'm actually going to invest in what he's doing, because he could have his own mechanic shop. But the reality is he's got the stuff already set up in his house, and he actually does body work. So when educated black men find somebody that we say, okay, this dude has potential, this dude has something I can work with, if I give a little, I can get that here. We jump on that. We don't. Oh, he gets pushed. No, ain't nobody thinking about that, because it's about money, and I see value in him because he's black. So I know he won't turn on me like a white person will. So it's investment in a relationship. So, Angry Man, respectfully, I disagree when you keep broad stroking that educated black men have this pussy problem and we hate these niggas.
This coming from the guy who talks about women every goddamn day incessantly for fucking hours, but it's not about pussy. Get the fuck out of here, Edward.
I talk about. Hold on, let me address that. I'm gonna address that
real quick. Okay, real quick. Because Art has his spoke. Art's actually next. Go ahead, real quick. You can address him, and then you're next, Art.
Everything is about sex. Everything is about sex except sex. Sex is about power. Oscar Wilde.
Okay, I'm gonna address that with a question.
Go ahead.
What percentage?
You guys got 10 minutes, you know that, so make it quick.
Okay, and I'm gonna say it like that. I'll have a hangout with you right now where I go one-on-one with you.
Go ahead.
But outside of that, so you scared to do that. Outside of that. No, I got my Chromebook right in my fucking car. So outside of that, hold on. But outside of that,
make your point.
What percentage of mental energy do you think, regardless of class or whatever, do black men dedicate to women as far as what drives their decisions?
80%.
What they do, they buy.
80%.
So why the fuck would you not talk about that?
Because you keep dodging. Okay, wait a minute. Because you keep dodging the goddamn question. We just said that shit. That's what he just said.
Can somebody give Edward 100 milligrams of losartan citrate, please? Because his blood pressure is spiking.
Hey, basically,
Can I interject?
I'm getting ready to fly to North Carolina with my belt for this motherfucker. Go ahead. Art. Say what?
May I interject, please?
No, Art.
May I interject, please?
We got 30 seconds. Art's actually next. He's been waiting. Well, 30
Okay.
seconds. Go ahead.
So,
Because I'm getting ready. Because I'm gonna give you the last word, though. For the truth. Art, go ahead.
All right.
What do you want to say, man? You got 2 minutes to say what you got to say. Because I'm getting ready to bell. And then Bitter Truth got the last question.
Okay. First of all, I just got promoted. I got a wrench.
Yes, you did.
So
let me look to see. Make sure you ain't lying.
hey, Anger Man.
Yeah, I'm starting to hang up now.
All right.
Okay. We can't go anywhere as a community without each other. That's first and foremost. We need the top and we need the bottom. So all this division that we're having right now, from educated lame to Pookies and Ray Rays, it kind of needs to stop if we want to have a black community.
Amen.
That's just the name of the game. If you
I
want to have a black
with
community,
Mm-hmm.
if you really want to have a black community, you need to stop with the individualistic bullshit. Saying that I'm for myself first. No, we as black men who have been put under the fucking boot of white supremacy. We've been kicked, thrown dirt on, slapped, raped, backslash, throat cut, all that shit. I just seen a video where there was a man that's still alive to this day who was still in slavery. Slavery didn't end like it should have back in the day. It ended during BG. It ended like what? He was 19 in the 70s, I believe.
Basically they released him because machines actually took over his role, so they didn't have a need for him anymore. But go ahead and finish, and then real quick because we got about 5 minutes, and basically Bitter Truth has the last.
Yeah, I agree with Black Ass Pink Panther.
and for anybody that wants to continue the conversation, Edward said he's starting up a hangout on his channel, so you can go there. I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the chat. Finish.
Can I get this in there? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Finish up, Art. You got the last. You got the last 5 minutes. Bit of truth. Finish up.
Just keep in mind, to anybody who says they're all about themselves first, you can't care about the black community if you about yourself first. And one last thing. I'm Rick James, bitch. Enjoy yourself.
You motherfucker. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. Go ahead, please.
All right. Please. To touch on something that Valdez said about close to half an hour ago, the whole bullying aspect. I grew up as of lighter skin, black boy in a black neighborhood. All right, around dark skinned blacks. I don't have any brothers or sisters that are my age that came from my mother. So I've dealt with the bullying from all aspects, from guys and girls, and it kind of broke my heart as a youngster, because I was always for my people. Even today, even though I've watched black leaders and black people I care about die because they were in the middle of caring about black people. Okay, still to this day, everything I try to do It's for the benefit of black people. Being stabbed in the back by Ray Ray Pookie types, being stabbed in the back by educated lames, being stabbed in the back by middle of the roaders, just being stabbed in the back by black people, period, from both sexes. I'm still out here fighting, trying to help my people wake the fuck up. And those who call themselves woke the fuck up, help them think outside of their emotions, think intelligently, reasonably, all right, instead of emotionally about how to go about dealing with situations. So, in essence, what I'm saying is it really doesn't matter your station in life, it's all about your mentality. And if you have a fucked up mentality, then you're a fucked up person. There's nothing I can do except, like he was saying, the whole lead a horse to water. But again, can you make the water? Can you make the horse drink the water? The horse may be thirsty as fuck, but if he don't want to drink the water, he's not gonna drink it. Am I lying?
The church says.
So I mean,
Go ahead. You can respond, Art. Go ahead.
All right. I understand your sentiment, but just saying that, oh, well, the horse ain't going to drink, so I'm not going to help it, is not a way to help your community.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there that say that. Saying that
yes, there is.
I'm not going to do it just because I think that I can't make a difference. Now, it's different when you say, I'm going to try, and you come back and say, I've done the best I could. You can't say you've done the best you could when you don't even try.
Actually, I can actually see what Bitter Truth is saying because in my work in the community, I know how niggas is. I know whenever you put them on the game, you're like, yeah, man, that's a great idea. I want to get down with that. And then it comes time to put up and show up. Be like,
can't
shit.
find them.
Fact, when I went back to teaching back in October, everybody knew. Look, first meeting back, reorganization, house cleaning happened. Need to be at this community meeting. Where was the niggas at? Oh shit, I'm getting ready for the club. I don't think I'll be able to make it tonight. That type of mentality. So yeah, we do have a problem, and it comes from a lack of motivation. The thing that motivates us is not the thing that motivated us a generation ago. In the boomer era, they were under the oppression. They had no choice but to pick up the ball. You see? Now in this generation, they've been incubated and conditioned to believe that they have the luxury of just setting the ball down. See, we Gen Xers, we kept getting the ball slapped out of our hand.
Yeah, we got a minute.
Mass incarceration, 3 strikes rule, and then economic suffocation under Bill Clinton. And now, it's about getting back to the 3 primary things that held the black community in place all up to this point, which were academic excellence, that's your educated lanes, political participation, and this is a group sport, and then your military service, which I still advocate for.
All right.
Get back to those 3 things.
Yeah. Okay.
He's 100% right.
Yeah. Okay. This is I put Edwards. Edwards says he's gonna start up a hangout. So if you guys want to continue the conversation, I put the link to his channel in there, so you guys can go over there, and he's gonna host the. He's gonna pick up the ball and run with it.
I'm about to go get me a beer.
I heard that. Well, I'm getting ready to turn the liquor game and give me a shot of tequila. All right.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, speaking on the educated lane thing, like, man, I've been to 2 colleges, man, and some of the educated lanes I know, they were every bit of the fucking Pookie and Ray Ray that I was.
For real. That's what I keep saying. For real. That's what I'm saying. We're all in the same mixed bowl of nuts, and we don't even realize it. but everybody keep claiming
But
everybody fronting
but
like.
sometimes, I know how brothers get on these college campuses, though. I do. So it's always like I always look at brothers in awe whenever they gone through the college process and they still come out with their blackness intact.
It's a
It's
hard
always
thing,
an
hard thing to
amazement.
do.
It's always an amazement to me.
Hard thing to do.
Because I told you I used to be a black conservative. Yeah, I used to be one of those types that shit. I made it where I am. So why can't you?
All right, folks. I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna go catch my game. And like I said, I put Edward's link in the chat. Go to his channel. He's gonna continue the conversation. And I
I'm a
appreciate
little
you guys for
mad at
stopping.
Edward because
Why?
it was just a little bit because when Valdez came on, he didn't even give Valdez a chance to ask questions or anything. He kind of went at him, kind of derailed everything. But at least we hashed it out.
To answer your question, Don Calypso, there was a reason why you were able to come here as an outside observer, and that was actually due to the efforts of a bunch of Pookies and Ray Rays that put up a good fight back in the 50s and 60s. And that's the reason why y'all, our brethren from the islands can come here and get reduced or even free college or get more access to grants.
They know it. They know it. Sometimes they know our history better than we do. Sometimes, especially from the islands. Anyway, y'all, I got to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. Go to Edward's channel. I'm sure he'll be glad to have all 242 of you guys, and you guys can actually go there. He's actually stirring the mud as we speak. So
that brother needs some blood pressure medication. That's all I gotta say.
I don't think that's mud. I think that's pitch.
That's pitch, right? Along with the tire, you take some heat for that. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna bounce out. So go to his channel, pick up the ball, and continue the conversation. If I can weigh in, I'll weigh in. If I can't, I can't. But
thanks for hosting, BGS. Much appreciated, bro.
Yeah, it turned into a scrum anyway, did it not?
Hell, I would have preferred listening to the bioregenerative sciences.
I did think the likes would come up, but thanks, Valdez. And Valdez,
me and Valdez need to do a Pookie and Urkel chop it up.
Yeah,
show Edward how it happened without all the yelling.
What I'm saying, I don't think Valdez has anything against you one way or the other. I don't think it was bad. I think it was more about the people in the chat room.
I mean, we need to show folks that Urkel and Pookie can have a conversation without stuff getting all kinds of heated. Like some people came on the attack. It's like, damn. It seems like people have a bone to pick against Valdez. Just
like Richard Price. Like Richard Price, it's them new niggas, man. It's the new niggas that's having the issue.
If you'd have seen the way, matter of fact, if you'd have seen the way Obsidian acted last night, it was like he was trying to get all his get backs on me from all the times I whooped his ass on your platform.
I don't know
why did he get on?
I don't know why he thought he could plant his ass in my hangout.
Oh man, that nigga was muting me and yelling.
He was quiet as hell, and until Valdez said something about him being here.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to say something. Yeah, when as soon as he said something,
hello. Like, come on.
See, I even reached out to him and apologized for my behavior against the brother.
So I just
and I actually asked him. I said, and I asked in this new spirit of mending bridges that you extend that same courtesy to our esteemed brethren BGS.
He said no. I'm sure.
Well, he didn't respond.
No, what good. In other words, niggas stay in their grave. Okay, you dead to me. Because like I said, because Don Calypso actually did I listen to his video. I said, hell no, I don't listen.
Yeah, he got a new Oshkosh but Gosh jean jacket.
Well, good. I hope he gets go to with Kevin James, upgrade his wardrobe. Good for him. Good for him.
Hey,
anyway, y'all, I got
BGS, enjoy that Mexican burger, man.
Well, actually, I'll go get a what is it? A quesadilla, a side of quesadilla with the pico de gallo.
Okay, have him add the queso sauce in addition to the shredded cheese. Yo, that stuff is good. It'll give you a heart attack, but it's delicious.
Oh no, they put the queso right on top. That's what they use. They don't use shredded.
And no sour cream, just guacamole, man.
No. We the green the green salsa and the pico de gallo. That's all I need. I'm good. But anyway, and they're Guatemalans and not Mexicans.
But yeah, keep it real. Like you might hear me say some things that might be abrasive, like dishwasher, but that's to motivate you.
I
Look,
I was telling them that, but they don't believe that's the
look
purpose.
when
Don Calypso, I was just telling Don Calypso just that. Just to
look,
motivate.
man, when I was growing up, man, I was growing up with a single fucking father.
Mhm.
That nigga was never one time fucking soft on my ass. Okay. If I looked like I was gonna question some wise shit, I was getting a new back. Okay.
Tastes like that in my mouth.
I heard, yeah, that heard. I've seen that. I still got marks. Anyway, y'all, I'll see you guys later. I gotta go.
Okay,
Continue over there.
buenos nachos, man.
All right, peace.